Please take your seats. Shall we start? Namaskar, Suprabhat and good morning to one and all. The deliberations with regard to National Education Policy NEP 2020, which is ongoing at NIT Rourkela, has taken shape, and we are here to fine-tune it more and make it better via the two-day workshop on NEP starting today. To begin, I request the dignitaries to come to the dais and participate in the ceremonial lamp lighting. Professor K. Bhubaneswar Rao, Director NIT Rourkela, who is going to preside over the function. Professor Vidyadhar Subudhi, Director NIT Warangal. Professor Gautam Sutradhar, Director NIT Manipur. Professor Susmita Mishra, Dean Academic. Professor S. Chakravarti and Professor S. K. Patel. Sir and Madam, please. I request the dignitaries to take their seats on the dais. I request the dignitaries to kindly accept saplings as a token of love and respect. I request Professor S. Chakravarti for the welcome address and the context setting of the two-day workshop.
Very good morning to everybody. On behalf of the organizing committee, I welcome the dignitaries on and off the dais, distinguished keynote speakers, delegates, and our NIT Rourkela family to the two-day workshop on implementation of National Education Policy 2020 with a special reference to National Credit Framework. In particular, we are very proud to organize this historic event at our institute in Rourkela from today during May 5th to 6th, 2023. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming today's guest of honors, Professor B. Subudhi, Director NIT Warangal, and Professor Gautam Sutradhar, Director NIT Manipur, who have been kind enough to take out of their busy schedules to grace this occasion. We are indeed thankful, sirs. I would like to welcome all the keynote speakers, namely Professor B.S. Murthy, Director IIT Hyderabad in online mode, Professor S. Karmalkar, Director IIT Bhubaneswar online mode, Professor B. Subudhi, Director NIT Warangal, Professor Gautam Sutradhar, Director NIT Manipur, Professor G.P. Rajasekhar, IIT Kharagpur, Professor Arun K. Tangirala, IIT Madras, Professor L. Nandagiri and Professor U. Sripati Acharya, NIT Suratkal, Professor K.B. Jaykumar, NIT Warangal, and Professor Chandicharan Malakar, NIT Manipur. Further, we also welcome directors of different other NITs such as Jalandhar, Jaipur, Allahabad, Kurukshetra, Sikkim, Puducherry, Nagaland, Mizoram, etc., along with other dignitaries, experts, faculties, students, etc., who are on online mode. Last but not the least, I would also welcome all NITR faculties, staffs, students, as well as media persons. The aim of this important workshop is to deliberate on implementation of NEP 2020 vis-à-vis National Credit Framework, leading to framing a suitable curriculum for engineering and science education in higher education institutes with reference to NITs. NEP 2020 is a comprehensive policy built on the foundational pillars of access, equity, quality, affordability, accountability, and student-centric. In this regard, our director, Professor Uma Maheshwar Rao, will present in brief the concept note of NEP implementation for NIT Rourkela. Professor S.K. Patel and Professor S. Das will present about multi-entry, multi-exit and flexible course curriculum with reference to National Credit Framework respectively, which are developed by the great efforts of our whole NEP Institute team. Finally, Professor Mukesh Gupta will light on the role of CSAB with respect to NEP 2020. In view of the above, we have a strong schedule of programs for the 2 days. We are sure all will enjoy the exciting deliberations of the workshop to make the aim of the workshop successful. I sincerely hope that all will find the workshop purposeful and productive, and I believe that it will help in nurturing the concept of NEP 2020 policy for final implementation. Thank you everybody, and have a grand workshop discussions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I request Professor Sushmita Mishra, Dean Academic, to kindly enlighten the audience about the deliberations that happened at NIT Rourkela with regard to NEP 2020. Madam, please.
Very good morning to one and all present here. Respected Director Professor Uma Maheshwar Rao, Professor B. Survadi, Director NIT Warangal, Professor Gautam Sutradhar, NIT Manipur, Professor S. Chakrabarti, and Professor S.K. Patel, my colleagues and dignitaries in the auditorium, distinguished dignitaries in online mode. I, on behalf of Academic Unit of NIT Rourkela, extend a warm welcome to this 2 days workshop of deliberation on the new National Education Policy 2020. I want to highlight the background of our journey to implement NEP 2020. To give a brief information on our academic institution, we have about more than 8,200 undergraduate, postgraduate and doctoral students pursuing their goal across 20 departments and 11 Center of Excellence. With more than 370 faculties, we are at a unique position to frame, finalize and take lead on the implementation of NEP 2020. We have accepted it in principle, and many of our pedagogy and curricula are aligned to that direction. As Dean Academic, I have first-hand experience of dealing with many students in facing their unique situation, but be it from different social background, economic strata, language and cultural variation, psychological influences, parental expectation and own aspiration, etc., many do not subscribe to conventional or traditional route and hence face psychological challenges. Due to this rapid change in the environment and due to the unexpected changes in the students' mindset, it's a very good step towards implementing NEP 2020 to fill this gap. The curricular framework with flexibility exercise began a year ago after Professor Uma Maheshwar Rao joined as director of our institute in February 2022. It has undergone several input and intense deliberations with many stakeholders. Specific attention has been given to entry and exit policy, skill development, value education apart from multidisciplinary or transdisciplinary courses, so that the students have choices to make their life better. NIT Rourkela is also an early participant to the Academic Bank of Credit called ABC, a national repository. my colleagues have carried out exhaustive exercise in putting and coalescing different aspects of NEP 2020 and has come out with a nicely documented draft framework. This draft framework will undergo further intense deliberation in this 2-day workshop, and I am sure that at the end of the day, there will be a final draft of NEP 2020 ready for implementation, hopefully in the forthcoming academic year. I express my thanks to our director, Professor Rao, for his strong support, encouragement, guidance in this task. I also thank my colleague, Professor Patel, Professor Chakravarti, Professor Sushmita Das, Professor Manas Tripathi, Professor Rajiv Panda, Professor J.P. Kar and Professor Samit Ari, and other committee members who have worked intensely and tirelessly to bring it to this current form. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam. I request our Honorable Director, Professor K. Bhubaneswar Rao, for his welcome address. Sir, please.
The dignitaries on the dais, distinguished Director NIT Warangal, Professor Vidyadhar Subudhi, and he is one of the guest speakers as well. Distinguished Director NIT Manipur, Professor Gautam Sutradhar, is again another guest speaker, and other distinguished speakers from various other institutions like Director IIT Bhubaneswar, Professor Sripath Kamalkar, Professor G.P. Rajshekhar from IIT Kharagpur, Professor K.V. Jayakumar from NIT Warangal, and Professor Sripati Acharya from NIT K. Suratkal, Professor Arun Tangirala from IIT Madras, and Professor Lakshman Nandagiri from NIT K. Suratkal, and other distinguished directors of NIT who are attending the program online, and our all deans, professors of PADA. PADA is Professors Assisting Director in Administration, all the heads of the department, heads of the center and heads of the unit, and my dearest faculty members, your presence on BBA Auditorium, it's a greatest motivation for us for the work that has been really taken up. Registrar, Joint Registrar and Assistant Registrars, and my dear students, and other delegates who are logged on online. A very good morning to all of you. I take this opportunity to welcome you to NIT Rourkela, a lush green campus in a silent valley in the city of Steel City, that is Rourkela. And further, I welcome you to 2-day workshop on the development of curriculum in light of National Education Policy 2020 within the limits of national framework, curriculum framework. As most of you must have realized that the light is thrown on, the focus is thrown on, or rather the keywords in this 2-day workshop are undergraduate curriculum. Whether you call it as a revisiting or redesigning or re-engineering, there is some change that is likely to happen to the existing undergraduate curriculum. And then we have another keyword, that is the NEP, National Education Policy, and lastly, the National Credit Framework. Curriculum, to start with, refers to the entire academic content taught in a specific course or a program. In the present context, it is about the curriculum designed for the outcome-based education. As you all know, my dear faculty members and the heads of the department, you all know that we are bound to have the accreditation by the accreditation committee, and one of the first questions which MBA team asks is that what exactly is your preparation for the outcome-based education. We do have, but then the expectations of the MBA team is certainly higher than what we are following, and hence we are now putting down our head and then tightening our belts and trying to re-engineer, redesign our curriculum, which is mainly focused on the outcome-based education, the aspects of it. In the traditional system, which has been really followed across the country, or even there is no exaggeration if I say that across the globe, system followed a time that is spent trying to learn the syllabus of every subject within the time frame and with an aim to score good marks in the examinations. Marks was the major criteria for assessing the performance of a student. And lot has really been deliberated on this one. Somewhere the ministry as well as the intellectuals who really sat on trying to really slate down this NEP document or the policy framework, they realized that our endeavor as the teachers should never be marks oriented. Somewhere in that process, they try to say that instead of teacher centric education system, let us try to promote student centric education system. This is the primary context on which NEP 2020 has been framed. The moot point here is that in the traditional system, are the students sufficiently skilled? This is a question we need to put on ourselves. And are they acquiring the knowledge sufficient enough to live up to the expectations of the industry? We may really answer this question silently. Our silent answer is that we agree that there is a gap. There is a gap between the students who have acquired the skills from the institutions and to the what the industry at 4.0 revolution is asking for. This is what exactly is the gap in the existing curriculum. We all realize, each one of us realize that there is a gap. There is a gap in the skills which the students have acquired and the opportunity which they got in the institution while really pursuing their academic pursuit. Okay, the gap is there, and then the industry, unlike the education institution, industry is on a fast track towards, now it is at the 4.0 revolution point where you all know, you ask anybody now in the country, in the globe, they all really univocally say that artificial intelligence, machine learning, IoT of things, big data analytics, and then so on and so forth. This is the lingo or the jargon that is really heard by everyone, and therefore it is time for us to re-look into our curriculum and then redesign that one, maybe re-engineer that one, so that we give the opportunity, more opportunities to the students and make it a student-centric. This is one of the key aspects of this two-day workshop, for which we have various eminent speakers from various other institutions. And the next key word is that putting together national education policy and the national credit framework, together they are pointing at and they are promoting a few salient points like multiple entry and exit option with academic bank of credit. I may really take time to deliberate upon during my presentation about what exactly is our preparedness towards implementation of this multiple entry and exit option along with the academic bank of credit. And then multidisciplinary education, interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary education. And the third point is that making credit mechanism simpler and uniform. Fourth one is that increasing focus on research and innovation. Research and innovation has been so far so good. It has been limited to the research scholars who are really pursuing their PhD, and then through the research scholars, the faculty members, and faculty members on their own, they are really pursuing the research. And then what is the expectation today is that even every student at every level, they should have an opportunity to really look into this research as well as innovation, so that it may turn out to be, or it may evolve an opportunity for them to become an entrepreneurs. So now that is one. The next is the promoting digital learning, blended learning and open distance learning like Swayam and MOOCs, etc. Leveraging the institutional infrastructure, promoting stronger collaboration between institutions, making students more employable by enabling more holistic design of the study. I hope that the presentation of on these subjects in these 2 days and the deliberations thereof shall help us identify the grey areas in the curriculum that has been developed by NIT Rourkela. The recommendations of the committee after the discussions will be summarized and will be incorporated in the final document, which will be presented before the senators at NIT Rourkela. The final document which is recommended by the senators at NIT Rourkela will once again be presented before the Board of Governors of the institution, and then the final we take the final go before it is all set to be introduced in our institution. And then we are contemplating, we are planning that very soon, sooner than later, maybe in the coming academic year, we will be adopting this new education policy or the new curriculum. And then since the opportunity which we have, additional opportunity which we have is that CSAP and JOSA, these are all once again the second time that NIT Rourkela is really holding the admissions through CSAP. I therefore request all the guests to kindly give your critical remarks, pros and cons, the strengths and weaknesses of the curriculum, since it helps us take the curriculum back onto the anvil to hammer out all the dents and bends. I thank the participating guest speaker, both who have come both physically and those who are really joining us online, for sparing your valuable time in trying to be with us, in trying to really give your opinion in a critical fashion, so that the mistakes which are really done. I don't say that this is the final curriculum which we have designed, but then let me really acknowledge here, take this opportunity to acknowledge the hard work put on the curriculum committee members, the professors involved in the PADA. Many of you may knowing or may not be knowing that for the last 6 months there has been really brainstorming sessions and then heated arguments, discussions, and finally we have slated down one curriculum which is trying to take care of most of the parameters which are given in NEP 2020 policies. Having said this one, it is not the end of and all of it. And then there are opportunities, there are scopes in our curriculum which can further make it industry oriented or living up to the expectations of the industry 4.0, which is now looking at a differently skilled and the individual who has the ability to think critical and then the ability of problem solving. They are not identifying the problems, they are standing in the problem and they are offering the solution, is what the industry is expecting from the graduates of any institution, any engineering graduate from any institution. And then which you all know, you must have read in papers as well as in various other forums, that Indian engineers are not readily employable. Having said this one, I am not quoting the person who has stated this, but then stated that in one of the convocations that 85% of the Indian engineers are not readily available in the core industries. Only 15% of them are readily available for joining the industries. If this is the glaring reality which we have before us, I think as the teachers who are offering the education to the students, I think it is the time for us to really sit down and then look into what has been followed. There are two options before us. One is that whatever is happening, whatever is the way in which we are following, it is correct. Why do we make a change? Is change required at all or not? This is one option that we have. Second option is that living up to the expectations of the industry and then trying to take the call from the industry and then sit down and then make some curriculum changes. These two options are there before us. NIP 2020, it's only a policy. They don't really say that it is mandatory for every institution or any institution to really adopt that one tooth and nail to the last word of that one. Whatever is possible that you need to take or that you can take it from that particular policy. And the National Credit Framework, it's also a framework, and then you are looking through this particular framework which is clearly defining the credits. Fortunately, all the educational systems and institutions in the country offering engineering degrees, they are following some or the other credit system. To say, per se, like IIT Madras has one credit policy, IIT Kharagpur, like my parent institution, has another credit policy. And then NITs, each one of us have our own credit policy. Somewhere when we are trying to state that, it should be student-centric and it should be multiple entry and multiple exit option. And therefore, a student should have the opportunity to pursue his course or pursue his career, some credits, what is tenable in whichever the institution it is, right? So that particular opportunity is what NIT Rourkela is now trying to initiate by this curriculum which has really been designed. I once again acknowledge the hard work put on by the committee members in the curriculum development the group, as well as the professors in PADA. I am not taking their names one after the other, okay, but then a lot of hard work has gone. And then I thank each one of you for your presence in BB Auditorium to listen to the work of your colleagues who have really created one particular template of the curriculum which we will be deliberating before you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We are honored today to have with us Professor Vidyadhar Subudhi, Director NIT Warangal, and also our distinguished alumnus as our guest of honor. Sir, I request you to share with us your thoughts on NEP 2020 and the National Credit Framework. Sir, please.
Good morning to all. I am really thrilled to be here in this hall again after a gap of nearly 4 years or so. So I feel it's a homecoming for me. I see my colleagues in my front. I see my colleagues on the dais. I am eagerly waiting to meet them today. I must thank the wonderful director of this prestigious institute, Professor Rao, for his leadership in inculcating the initiative that the Union Government of India has mandated, particularly the NEP and the National Credit Framework. So having said that, it is a big challenge not only for the NIT system but also the IIT system to take it forward. If you look at this NEP, we have started long ago, but the recent NEP 2020 that has made a great change in its expectation. And I personally see this national education policy is rightly documented by a set of people who have earned a big respect in the community for the ultimate purpose of the use of the education, not only for the higher education but also for the elementary education as well. To me it appears that no more teaching is only a compensatory profession of research. It is supplementary. So when a transformation has happened from REC to NIT or maybe any college to an institute of repute, of national repute, we all aspire that we'll be enjoying the benefits that are going to be bestowed on me or bestowed on us. But we have enormous challenge before us. What is the challenge? The challenge is now the education system. Now the students are becoming more smarter than the ever before. So when going to a class, to engage them for even 30 minutes is a big challenge. So the students have all the resources before them. So how to make ourselves smarter than the students so that we can take them that 1 hour or 30 minutes engaged and motivate them for the objective of research to be accomplished. So what my opinion would be to integrate the teaching and research together. That means what the industry wants. So particularly the industry wants the research must be propagated not only to the master's level, not only to the PhD level, but also to the undergraduate level as well. And these undergraduate students must know what is the expectation from the industry. That is in terms of the technology readiness, the different yearly level, and also the masters and PhD level. These students, we are doing the research for the sake of research. So my inspiration would be, we should see that our research should get a direction in which we must see that what is our society need, how our research will fulfill the societal challenges, how we can address the local challenges, how the global problems can be solved. And I must mention here our Honorable Prime Minister's mandate, the Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliant India, in which we may not only depend upon the products or the equipment or anything else we bring from other countries, why not we can produce it here. So our technology will be driven towards producing or creating any software, any product, any equipment in-house in the country itself. And we must see if you see, all of us agree that the technology brings a change in the economy. So therefore our economy is very much dependent on our research we pursue. So the opinion is that, so these two framework, the initiative by our government towards this NEP, implementation of NEP or the National Credit Framework, is praiseworthy, and the initiative Professor Rao has taken, I must congratulate him to do it a very massive way, and all the NIT and IIT system will be immensely benefited from this workshop, I believe. And I also say that the government is quite conscious about few other things, not only the NEP or the national framework. The government is quite conscious about the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. So if you can analyze or introspect it, you will realize that it is an initiative to reach out these rural community who are the most awaited beneficiary in this arena. So for example, if you can inculcate what Professor Rao has mentioned about the revision of curriculum, so if you can put some of the ingredients there, like how best our curriculum will be designed that will reach to these people for their quality life. We are all adopting villages, we are utilizing our technology for their benefit, but formally I would say that some components must be included in our curriculum for the benefit of the nation. And also we are quite aware the government's mandate towards the capacity building of drone and allied technology. It has taken a massive step in terms of today's need, because the government has mandated around 30,000 crore of investment would happen in the next 5 years, and it has identified many institutes to channelize this capacity building. I believe this capacity building needs, what Professor Rao has already mentioned, the AI, machine learning. These are the key technologies that will benefit towards accomplishing this huge task before us. I must say that we are moving towards the outcome-based education, where the mark is not important. More important is what we teach the student, how they can utilize the technology for some real cause of to solve the real problems before us. And there is a great challenge for the digital learning. All of us quite experienced during the COVID time to exploit all the benefits of the digital learning. Nevertheless, we are still starving towards make it more usable, to devise more methods. For example, if you talk about the laboratories, how best we can do that through digital mode of learning. And the internationalization. So we all adopt this national education policy. We are very keen to adopt it, we are very keen to implement it. But we must, when we are sending our children or students to abroad, we must have a look that what they are practicing and what is their university is mandating. For example, you go to Stanford, each professor you discuss or meet may be a director of or a managing director of a company. So that the point what I want to mention here, we don't want to make a watertight compartment. We must have a kind of integration to the industry and teaching together. So we must create such a environment in the institute, and the tinkering lab, that is very essential today, because through this tinkering lab we can, because the ideas of the young folk are quite enormous, so we have to provide them an environment for these good ideas through tinkering labs. And the ranking and accreditation, these are two important parameters, two important criteria for institute to be made visible. And I must say the IIT and all NITs are very much conscious about to raise their ranks, but it is true that while you feature in a top rank, it is quite evidence from your outcomes, from your teaching learning process. I personally believe if your teaching learning is good, if you have a good atmosphere for the student, for that whatever you say about, so obviously your ranking will reflect. So therefore these are two reflections of your indicators. And about this accreditation, the National Board of Accreditation, I was told that this accreditation, if it is a program wise, you go for a NBA, or if it is an institute wise, it is a national, what you call NAC accreditation. And apart from that, we periodically go for a review. What we do, we are not happy with what we do. We must get a direction. For example, we need to have a research advisory committee involving all the top notches, the peers in this area, to give us a direction where we should move. Similarly, we should invite the people who are accomplished academicians, and their advice to get a direction is most essential for an institute of repute. And the most important is the cultural change. See, when I say the cultural change, it is worth mentioning here because Professor Rao is from IIT Kharagpur. Now, the olden days, the gap between the REC and NIT was huge. Now, if you see, the gap between REC and NIT has diminished a lot. So therefore, the cultural change, I don't feel any gap still is to be there in coming years. It will be diminishing. So we have to adapt. So what is the difference? Because I am the best example who worked in three environments, in a state university, in a NIT, in a IIT system. So having experience in three systems, I can say that the cultural change in NIT system and IIT system is the flexibility. And nobody there to have a watchdog. You are your own kind of judge yourself. So we have to adapt this cultural change to make it happen. And finally, I must thank Director Professor Rao for inviting me to here, to meet my colleagues, to say something here, and my colleagues on the dais, Professor Patel, Professor Misra, and my other colleague, Professor Sutradhar, who is a double director now. He is in NIT Manipur, going to join in NIT Jamshedpur, and Professor Chakravarti. With these few words, I will be meeting again in my deliberation, where I will be talking about the National Credit Framework and some of my opinions there. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We are also fortunate today to have with us Professor Gautam Sutradhar, Director NIT Manipur, as our guest of honor. Sir, I request you to share your thoughts on the changing landscape in the role of education and NEP 2020. Sir, please.
Good morning, everybody present here. I came from NIT Manipur along with my Dean RNC to see the practice and future plan of NIT Rourkela, which is supposed to be the best NIT in the country. I came here for two purposes. Number one, which direction will go, particularly in the Northeast, with many constraints. And that's why I brought my colleague here. He's a very young, dynamic scientist, renowned scientist, Dr. Malakar. Dr. Chandim Charan Malakar. He is basically from the chemistry. He is a main contributor from our side in citations and publications and everything. That's why he became the Dean RNC in our institute. And second is, I just have a word with Professor Rao when I am going to, I have completed my 5 years class in NIT Manipur, and I am going to join very soon in NIT Jamshedpur, and it will be the next door NIT of NIT Rourkela. These are two purpose I came here, and this is the first time I came in your institute. Though one of my PhD students have passed, I was co-guide when I am basically from Jadavpur University. I am from Mechanical Engineering Department. Now, basically I came here to learn and want to get your preparation for the implementation of NEP 2020. You all know that NEP 2020 is a very good document which has been prepared after 34 years of detailed study from the different parts of the society, like from farmer, artists, workshops, many parts of our society, and it finally came as a nice document, there is no doubt about it. But with the academicians and as a head of the institutions, you have a great responsibility to properly implement this thing. Implementation is a very important part, you know. Even the policy is good, implementation is wrong, then it will come devastations, what I feel. So my perception is that I came here to clear my some grey areas, as Professor Rao already told. If you ask, anyone ask me what is the basic concept of NEP 2020, I will say what my perception, that to enhance the gross enrollment ratio, which is average at now it is 28 to 29, to make it 50%, that means from primary level to the end, graduate level, 50% students should pass out. So this is the first and basic things there. And many directions are there. It is not that, as said previous speakers, that no, any institutes cannot go simultaneous all the things. So another one very important thing, what I find, what I feel basically, as you know that there is a proverb, we read but forget. We see, some of we can remember, but when I do in our hand, that actually goes to our heart and head. That means hand, head and heart. That means that's the fulfilling of skill basically. I want to mean the skill. Skill is coming when you do on your hand. So that's why in this NEP 2020, skill is very important. If you see, the academic qualification goes from ITI to diploma, engineering, MTech, PhD, the employability going decreasing. Employability is highest in the ITI level. Then better is diploma, then engineering, BTech. So this is the perception which actually NEP 2020 directing, that your research must be innovative and it should be translated to a product or process or service so that it can be useful for the general public. Otherwise, only paper in library and in a book form never comes for the usefulness for the society. This type of research actually not now encouraged at present time. So anyway, there are many things are there. I will discuss or I will share with you during my lecture session. So here another one important part what I feel, what maybe they missed my previous, that is Indian knowledge system. I think that is also very important. Who were our forefathers? What they do? There is a very, very long, high heritage is there, India. Once upon a time, the GDP of India is more than the US. And another one good thing is that presently the average GDP in education sector is around 2.8 to 2.9 and proposed in 2020 the proposed GDP is 4%. I think this will change the system, and we have enough responsibility, not as a director, as a vice chancellor, but as a faculty, the academic committee, academic fraternity have a great responsibility to implement this 2020 in a proper mode. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me by Professor Rao. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I request Director, sir, to felicitate Professor Vidyadhar Subudhi and Professor Gautam Sutradhar. Dignitaries are asked to please come forward. Due to some pressing engagements, the keynote address of Professor B.S. Murthy, Director, IIT Hyderabad, is rescheduled today to 2 p.m. This is for the kind information of all. Now I request Professor S.K. Patel to deliver the vote of thanks.
So we going to come to an end of this inauguration function. We are delayed by 10 minutes, and the list is very long. I will cut it short. So we are indeed thankful to Professor B. Subudhi and Professor Sutradhar, the two directors, NIT directors, who have come all the way to join with us physically. Of course, many NIT directors will be there online to join with us. And both of their addresses, the enlightenment words, will really encourage us to further take this forward. Thank you, sir. We are thankful to our Honorable Director, Professor Rao, who is the brain behind this program. He has given us this task quite 6 to 8 months back, that we need to prepare the NEP document, implementation document, and conduct this workshop. We got slightly delayed because of the in-between that faculty interview. He got busy for around 1 month. But finally, due to his repeated follow-up, encouragement, support, and also including the hard thrashings that really has come to this, that workshop has finally has taken place. Thank you, sirs. I am not going to name all the invited speakers, those who, and because of the names has already been told, and we are really indeed thankful to all the invited speakers that they will be addressing the gathering today, both offline and online. Now, we are thankful to Dean Academics, Professor Misra, for providing all the supports as and when it is required for preparing the document and these workshops. Thanks to Mr. B. Acharya and his entire registry team for making all the arrangements for these mementos, see this flower bouquet, this banner, stage management, etc., etc. Thanks to Professor Okade, head of our Computer and Information Center, for arranging this audio-video arrangement, these live presentations that we will be doing today, and also his anchoring and the stage management. Thanks to Professor Ratnakar Das, head of Antel, for making it possible, the live streaming at YouTube of the 4 sessions for this entire 2 days. There will be 4 different links has been provided so that this can be seen by others on online mode. Thanks to Professor S. Jaina, Dean Student Welfare, and its entire SAC team to provide all the necessary arrangement in this auditorium. Thanks to Mr. Rajesh Behera, the guest house manager, for excellent arrangement that he has done in receiving all our guests from airport and the railway stations, and also make their lodging and boarding at our guest house comfortable. Thanks to the entire staff of Director's Office for helping us in sending all the communications to the different people. Then, now it is the exam time. All our faculty members are busy evaluating their answer script, but still they have joined us physically in large number to make this program a success. So thanks to all of them. Also thanks to our PhD scholar. They also have joined here to physically present here. Last but not the least, I am thankful to all our NEP team members. I am now naming the name, already names has been told out, and also the 2 associate dean, the Professor Samit Ari and Professor Jyoti Prakaskar, for extended all their time, effort, cooperations for in all the brainstorming sessions, preparing the document and making this workshop a success. Thank you all.
The first session of the day will be on concept note about NEP implementation at NITR. Director sir will be presiding over it downstage.
Yeah.
Moisture.
Yeah. Thank you.
This will go forward. This will go back. You can press this one to go back.
Without further going into the formalities, I'll just straight away go into the presentation of what we have done at NIT Rourkela towards developing this curriculum, which is taking some leads from the policy which we have before us, that is National Education Policy, looking through the framework that is National Credit Framework. We have created one, and we have heard from Professor Subudhi as well as Professor Sutradhar that somewhere a beginning has to be made to look into the implementation aspect of that one. Having drawn the policies, having created a framework, and if they remain in their positions in the shelves, then they do not see the day of the light of the day, and therefore, in fact, I apologize here in front of all of you for being little harsh after waiting for a quite long time. Means I wanted to really start this same workshop last year itself, so that implementation of a new curriculum in the coming semester, it's not that an easy task. The reason is that we have got to have another, so now as I said, all our guest speakers with their erudition and with their experience in their institutions, they will be deliberating, and we will be hearing Professor B.S. Murthy also what they have already, the decision which they have taken at IIT Hyderabad, and we will also hearing from one another faculty member from IIT Madras. So it only indicates to us that we may have to go back to the anvil, step 1, where we have got to hammer down the bends and then dents and then try to again do that one. And that will be presented again before all the senators here. And again, the journey is not over, and it has to be presented before the Board of Governors, NIT Rourkela. Only then the circle is complete for us to start that one. In fact, the mandate was, let me acknowledge here, the mandate was given by the CSAP team, local committee chairman Professor Mukesh Gupta and then Pankaj Shah. They said that, sir, we are having the opportunity to implement this new curriculum right from coming semester. Why not we really make some T20, as I always tell that. Last 5 overs, how do we, the speed with which we play the game, let us play that game. Only that time, Professor Saroj Patel, only that time I must have lost my cool. The reason is that we are like, let me just, I am a storyteller, I tell the stories. Hare and tortoise, we all know that. Hare has the potential. Hare has the accomplishments. Hare is recognized, Hare is known for its swiftness, for its research accomplishments, for its name, for its fame. Publications, research, innovation and everything, you name it, Hare has accomplished. Somewhere there is some bit of complacency that has really put us down. Everywhere. You may find that when I am really raising my tone, it is just to wake up that our journey is not over as yet. Okay? Now, to all the audience who are there online as well as here, I take pride in stating that I am now one belonging to NIT Rourkela. NIT Rourkela has our logo always says, there are calculated moves, there are steep hurdles by the set square which is there. We climbed up to catch the sparkle in the sky, that is oblivion, that is the sparkle there, and then to really hold the Shama and then move forward. This is what is our logo, and that is what we all belong to, NIT Rourkela logo. There is some commitment for us, and this is the time you have got to raise to the occasion. And therefore, if I have really forced you to be present here, the only reason, each one of you, to the last who is sitting in the last corner, the reason is that 8 months of toiling has really gone into creating one small document here. Imagine how many hours, how many days, how many months have been put on by the NEP committee to create a policy framework, to create the policy. as well as the national credit framework also. When they have really put, because for us, localized effort is only trying to take some leads, some wires, some threads from that one and then knit our curriculum. That itself has taken 8 months. I once again acknowledge my faculty members in all these groups, right, who have really put and bore with me. My emotions, my anger, my everything. As you all know that 15th of August 1961, it is the beginning of the foundation of NIT Rourkela as Regional Engineering College. Thereafter, on 26th June 2002, it is promoted as the National Institute of Technology with a deemed to be university status. Later on, for the 15th of August 2007, it became the institution of national importance with the Act of Parliament. And then today we have, as already our Dean Academic has stated, that we have 20 departments. No NIT has such a variety of disciplines as we have. This is an opportunity, this is a challenge built in that one. I'll tell you, just give me a little time. And then we have 368 faculty members, and then some more are to join us. Just recently, we have finished the faculty recruitment, and then we have taken something around 65 new faculty members who will be joining us. So now, with the numbers who have joined us, it is 368, and then 276, this staff strength is what we have, and then 6,771 undergraduate students and 2,692 postgraduates. I have not really mentioned here the research scholars. In my statistics, what I have is that the sanctioned strength at NIT Rourkela is 10,000 plus. In that sanctioned strength, what we have on roll is close to 9,000. There are many inadequacies in the system, but still we are moving forward. We are moving forward, it is visible. How we are moving forward, it is visible. Where there was lackadaisical approach, where we really went little complacent, that we immediately is shown in our rank. And then again we started picking up. We started picking up from 2021, and then today we are placed at 15th NIRF ranking, and I am confident, and I am sure that with our endeavor and with our perseverance, we can reach the higher ranks in the coming years. This is what is visible from what we are today to the world. Now coming straight away to the National Education Policy. National Education Policy, which is abbreviated NEP 2020, it has been there with us for more than 3 years, close to 3 years. It has become a common dialogue, NEP 2020 or 2020. It is a transformative initiative to prepare students with 21st century skill sets to meet the demands of the industry and society. I will not really once again state that. I will show you the graph where, and then National Credit Framework is another component which is complementary to the NEP 2020, the policy. What is actually the framework with which we are going to look in, and what pages of this particular huge document, the policy NEP document, that are relevant to us is the guide which National Credit Framework is trying to help us to find out, so that we realize the objectives, that is equitable, inclusive and a plural society. Now, as Professor Sutra has stated that, he is also carrying the dream. It is the dream which every educational institution's head or the educational institution per se is having, that our gross enrollment ratio, which is really limping at less than 27 or 28, we are lowest, one of the lowest in the world. Okay. So now there is a mandate. Let me tell you everyone here that it is not just our dream के पीछे एक mandate है. Ministry is asking us, the letter has come from the ministry, to have your vision, strategy for your institution, so that this gross enrollment ratio by 2035, it really goes to 50% in engineering institutions. Okay. Now if you just try to see, there is another terminology which has come up, that is eligible enrollment ratio. Gross enrollment ratio, it is taking the ratio of the enrolled students to the total population in the age group of 18 to 23. Whereas eligibility, this enrollment ratio is those who have cleared 12th class in the age group of 18 to 23. It clearly speaks of where we really stand. Okay. So now if you just try to see where we are really standing in this one, it's a glaring example of what exactly is the need of the educational institutions. Not only that, somewhere, somebody, everywhere, every industrialist, every intellectual is stating it loud and clear that the employability of our graduates is really slipping year after year. And therefore, I will just go to the next one where civil engineering, I have just got the data, reference is there, right? You may not be able to read that one. Civil engineering, mechanical, computer science, information technology, electrical, electronics and all other engineering, employability by 2020 is only 46. Right, if I round it off to 46, the remaining 64% are not readily employable. This is the truth. This is the truth that we have before us. And therefore, large percentage of engineers are not readily employable. The only reason which they say is that it is not about the limitations or inadequacies in our curriculum. It only says that our curriculum is not designed to give a student an opportunity to acquire the necessary skills that is looked are demanded by the industry. Industry is not, RSP is not what it was when it started in 1960s or 61 or whenever it has started. RSP is also changing to 4.0. Everywhere, in every walk of life, we are seeing the implementation of the digital technology. Digital technology is their theme. Artificial intelligence, neural network, augmented reality, robots are there already amongst us. Okay, in that scenario, unless we really prepare our students with the software 2.0, which is in a higher end the program, it is not C, C++ and then whatever the previous Java or Oracle or various other things. It is a different form of a preparation which our students need, so that industries or the software industries too try to look at us as a value addition to their company to serve them. So that this is one thing which we have got to really say, that there is a gap. There is a gap, and that gap needs to be filled up by only us, the teachers in the educational institutions. Okay. Now here, there is a need for us the suitable curriculum to be to the demands of the industry. National Credit Framework suggests to integrate humanities, liberal arts, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. STEM courses, humanities, and liberal arts. Why I have taken this initiative? Maybe the question that somebody may be thinking that just yesterday only we had a month-long G20 programs. In month-long G20 programs, only a few of the faculty members' help was taken. It is also a mandate for us, because it is the third of the educational working group committee meeting done in the Orissa state. It is not that it is done in somewhere that we are really running around there, that place. It is the call of the Ministry of Education. And it is the call of the Minister of Education. You know that he is from the state of Orissa, and that is the third educational working group summit, which happened for 1 month. While we are taking pride in being the presidency of G20, we have the responsibility at least to hold that one tight, to close to our chest, and then realize and make everyone realize what is there in the nitty-gritties of G20. That's the only exercise NIT Rourkela has done in running around 3 districts which we are assigned: Bargarh, Jharsuguda, and Sundargarh. We did. I really went. One day I really covered 250 kilometers, talking to the school children of class 1 to class 12, to various schools, right? So the question is that this is one opportunity for us to let world know there is hope against hope from 1.4 billion population of India. It is just only to herald that loud and clear that yes, it's a time that India is able to live up to the expectations of the world. And we did that during COVID by creating a excellent vaccine, and we have distributed to the world. And we have really declared that we believe in Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam by actions, not by statements. Okay. So now people have really worked into that one, implementation of National Credit Framework. It has a positive outcome, which includes or which increases including this increased creativity, innovation, critical thinking, problem solving abilities, teamwork, communication skills, more in-depth learning. These are some of the essential requirements which the industry is looking for. They don't want people to identify the problem. They know the problem. Hostel mein accommodation nahi hai, this is the truth. That is not the end of the problem. That is only the beginning, statement of your problem, SOP. And then what industry is really asking you is that, what is the solution that you have? Suggest the solution. Think critically. Think out of the box, out of the book, is what they are asking us to really teach the students. Is that what we are trying to do in this? I will just spend next 5-10 minutes here. This is one and all of what we have been doing for close to a year at NIT Rourkela. If we just try to see this one, it is NEP 2020, it is National Credit Framework policy, the framework, everything put together. Let me just take little time to explain you what exactly is each of these colored boxes are really saying to us. We have the first 2 years, these are the horizontals. I think each one of you, all the technocrats and then the teachers here, they understand what exactly is the significance of the courses which are horizontal, the courses which are vertical, right? So now we have first 2 years of the horizontal courses. In that one, first year, because National Credit Framework or even NEP together are trying to state that for some reasons apart, if a student, God forbid, he should not quit or he should not take an exit for some reasons which are beyond our control and imagination. If he wants to take an exit after the first year, having really spent 1 full year in the academics and cleared 40 plus credits in the institution, he should not really go with the 12th class. It is what is happening now, today. Right? So now to make a change and then make a significant change to the student, that your stay at NIT Rourkela for 1 full year, having really cleared applied physics, applied chemistry, applied mathematics or computational mathematics, and then hone some skills on programming languages which are required, software 2.0, and apart from that one, you have an opportunity to really put yourself in liberal arts, music, dance, or whatever, arts and various other forms of that one, okay. That is what is making your 40 credits. When you leave for whatever the reason, you leave with a certificate program. Certificate is given to the candidate who is leaving, and there is another opportunity for the candidate. If you have resolved your requirements, if you have really resolved your commitments, family commitments or whatever the commitments for which you are taking an exit, right, you have still an opportunity to come back so that a 4-year program can be really completed in 8 years, and then a 5-year dual degree program can be completed in 10 years. That means when you take an exit, you still have a hope against hope that you are not, and it's not over yet. Your game with NIT Rourkela is not over yet. You take an exit, work for some time, meet the requirements of the family, meet the requirements of the society for which you are taking an exit, and then come back. You can come back is what is the re-entry, that is in a multiple entry and multiple exit. Now coming to the second year, when they really want to, in the second year, stream-based foundation skills and various other skill development programs are introduced. The details will be really discussed by Professor Saroj Patel as well as Sushmita Das madam. They will elaborate on this one further. I am just only trying to introduce that one. So at the end of the second year, 50% of the credits, say for example, today we are having NIT Rourkela, we are offering 160 to 170 credits based on the discipline. Some of the disciplines require 170 credits, some disciplines require 160 credits. Now 50% of that when you really complete, that means 80 credits are completed by the end of second year, and this 80 credits which you have completed should be good enough. The subjects that you have cleared, for clearing 80 credits must be better than the existing diploma, your certificate is better than ITI, your the second year after clearing 80 credits, that diploma is better than the existing program, and if somebody takes an exit there, he has a dignity with which he can be employed by every company or any company whichever really is looking for those skills. Okay, he has not. Even that also we are presuming that from our experience of 60 plus years at NIT Rourkela, maybe less than 1% will be the exit, the candidates taking an exit. But then even one candidate, 1 out of 1,286 candidates wants an opportunity, that opportunity should be provided, and that is the view we are creating, that particular option for that one candidate also. Okay, he is not ignored because his life is his life. Okay, now he has taken an exit with a diploma, and then he has again an opportunity to come back. Listen, he should really understand the conditions very clearly, that his degree cannot really go beyond 8 years total duration. 4 years degree cannot go beyond 4 years. That means 8 years, sorry. So that means he has some time, having invested 2 years, he has another 6 years time, right? 6 years time to really meet the requirements and then come back. And then only thing is that though NEP as well as credit framework is proclaiming that at the third year level also that they can really take an exit, and then that exit will give them, because they must have really completed 120 credits of 160 credits. Okay, that is good enough for a degree. But then as of now, NIT Rourkela, in this one we are not really trying to say that. But then it has an advantage, because most of you may not even know that there was some such move from the ministry, that they wanted NIT Rourkela was NIT Rourkela was the only institution which was selected by the ministry for introducing the ITEP, Integrated Teacher Education Program, that is 5-year integration program. Right? ये ताली बजाने का नहीं है, क्योंकि it has lots of challenges in that one. Then now what we are trying to do is that, it's a challenge. It's like integrated BSc के बाद BEd, right? And then where do they really fit? Okay, B.Ed is a totally a transdisciplinary, perpendicular path, right? Perpendicular path, only Professor Das knows about the nitty-gritties and then challenges which they have. Okay, so now what we are saying is that maybe after 3 years of integrated MSc, maybe he gets an opportunity to take BSc in biology, BSc in one of the life sciences, and he has an opportunity to take a transdisciplinary program, that is B.Ed, which is absolutely perpendicular to the stream in which he is. And so that way there can be a possibility, but then we are still working on that one, but it leaves an option for us, that we are not closing down on the particular option. So as of now, yesterday what we have decided, just yesterday only we have decided that let us not open the option of exiting at the third year level right now. In future it may be. And then regular exit is the final exit that we are seeing all around the campus. People are in 3 suits, the best dress codes, taking the selfies and then taking the show, what is that, photo shoots. And then I see my students are so handsome, right? Because now they are leaving the campus. They didn't come so handsome, but then they are leaving so handsome, right? Everyone is in the best of the best forms physically, right? And then intellectually also, I believe that. And now the question is that after dual degree program, there is a catch here. I may be wrong. Let Professor Saroj Patel and Sushmita Das, madam, they will clear it out. today we have a condition that a student with 5 point someone is not getting a degree. Am I correct? Yes or no? But then he has spent 4 years. He has passed all the 160 credits. But only thing is that he is 5 point someone. Should he not be given a degree? Why not? Is my question. Because the first statement which NEP is stating and the first statement which I told also is that so far in the traditional existing system, people were chasing the marks. People were chasing the marks. And now somewhere government is also expecting us, please come out of this marks jingoism. Marks and marks, only marks. Marks, they just, if you have cleared the examination with 5 point some credits, he should also be given an opportunity to either go in a dignified way, or if there are any other strictures which needs to be really hammered down, the dents and the bends of that thing has to be really done. Till such time, we are trying to provide a option of 5th year, that is the dual degree program. Dual degree, we have dual degree. I think mining has a dual degree. Mining, BTech, mining, MTech. It is not adding any value. Maybe adding value. I don't say that it is not adding much value. Whatever the value that it could have really added, or it is adding, that even could have been done in 4 years, and then 5th year, we are again contemplating that the 5th year, the dual degree should be in the transdisciplinary, so that he will get BTech in mining engineering, MTech or MBA from management, MBA in intellectual property rights, MBA in human resources, MBA in finance, MBA in marketing, or integrated MSc. They take transdisciplinary B.Ed, and then various other programs. They have an option to add a perpendicular value to their base. That's where the apex is, that you are a sharpened knife with the horizontal experience of the various common engineering disciplines, and then the verticals that you have had with 60 to 70% of the disciplines which are from within the department, and then the remaining 30 to 40% are from the multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and then you have got the degree. Those students who are now at 5 point some can also register for their dual degree program, and if they can really put their really efforts tight and then do good, maybe they become 6 point some right? 6 point some or 6.5 or 6.3. That's what we are thinking, Professor Mukesh Gupta, right? So that no student should be leaving or should be living, L-I-V-I-N-G, living in stress. The reason is that for some reasons at NIT Rourkela, across the IITs, 6 CGPA, I think that is again streamlined. 6 CGPA is 60%. That means what we are saying that I think last convocation we have decided, right, that 6 CGPA is 60%. The question is that if a candidate is 60%, less than 60%, he is not entitled for a degree, is what we are now currently adopting. But then we have the candidatures. When we are really trying to do the faculty recruitment, I have read the candidatures, external, though, with second class. Are they not graduates? Is past class not a graduation? Is second class not a graduation? 59% is not a graduation or what? And he has hordes of publications thereafter. He has done his masters in flying colors, and he has done PhD under one of the greatest persons, or maybe close to a Nobel laureate in that area. Right? So now we have got to give an opportunity, because we are looking it as a student centric, not a teacher centric. This is what in total, what exactly is the curriculum which we have designed, sitting, lot of oil is burnt, sitting hours together, days and nights in trying to create what seems to be so simple. No. Every single line, every single policy in NEP, every single thing, you have the multiple entry and exit. You have the academic bank of credit. A student taking an exit for a positive note only. He has taken an exit from, let us say, NIT Manipur. He has taken an exit in NIT Manipur. He has an opportunity to come and pursue his, not enroll, pursue his the next semester here. For that reason only, unless our credit framework matches with each other, that flexibility which we really want to have, academic bank of credit. Okay, he will come at NIT Rourkela and then he will acquire another 40 credits and he goes back to Manipur. He has to go back to Manipur to get the degree because that is the parent institution to which he belongs to. When he goes back, they look at their framework, their policy, and then how many of these 40 credits which I've got from NIT Rourkela is useful to us. Not only that, that is where the academic bank of credit is coming in place, are useful. Not only that, 40 credits are required in each year. The boy, some are really fast learners, some are slow paced learners, but everybody is learning through. That's what is the requirement today. And then those who are really fast, in the fast track, fast mode, they would like to really acquire some courses not uncredited. This time we want to offer it as a credit courses. Let him really acquire in software skills or languages or IT skills or whatsoever, wherever he wants to. Let him put it in the bank, in ABC, because on the first day before he takes the admission here, he has opened an account in DigiLocker. He gets the roll number, along with that roll number, he has the digital locker number also. And then whatever, wherever he is acquiring skills and which are credited is going into the bank. Okay? At the end, he may really acquire, right, instead of 160 minimum credits, he has got 178 credits. Right? Almost 18 credits more than what exactly are required. So now he gets an honors degree. Honors is not 7.5, honors is not 8.5 CGPA. Honors is only those students who have really learnt more than the other, right? More subjects than other. Some subjects will be on self-learning mode, right? Some subjects will be registering with some students or some teachers. Some subjects maybe he must have got it from IIT Madras. Some subjects he must be getting from IIT Hyderabad. Some subjects he may be getting from IIT Bhubaneswar. So now all these things go into his ABC account. Not a single course which is credited goes waste. This is what exactly our proposal which is trying to state about. Okay. Having said this one, the only thing which he requires is that if the policy has to see the light of the day, like every Arjuna requires a Dronacharya. I have so many here. I have so many here. Only thing is that you have got to be behind the students. It is possible. It is only possible when the teacher conducting activities based on the projects on real time. Okay, it is possible. So that the student is promoted to think out of the box, so that whatever the skills which he has acquired through your teaching and learning processes, right, he is applying them. Somewhere the teacher, the pedagogical change is expected from a teacher. It is only possible when a teacher is ready to shift the gears. मैं जो हूँ, जो चल रहा है सही चल रहा है. Whatever the curriculum that is developed in these 60 years, they are not absolutely ridiculous people who have really created that, if you think that. And if you are not ready for a change, I am only trying to say that. Change means change in
full form, manasa, vacha, karmana. This is the change I am expecting from the Dronacharyas who are now sitting in this hall before me. This is the single reason why I wanted you to be present in what we have worked for almost close to a year. Things will be possible only when you say that, okay, enough of it. Gap is really widening and we are losing in perception. We are great personally, we are great individually, but then we are not as what we are claiming to be great collectively, which is not seen in the perception. This is the time Professor Subudhi has stated that NIRF ranking is a reality. NIRF ranking is a reality. Please realize the reality. Okay? And there is another point which I just would like to really add to what discussing with Professor Pawan Kumar. There is something called, all of you know about emotional quotient. All of you know about thoroughly about intelligent quotient, IQ. These are all different. It's not the textbook knowledge that we are talking about. It is about the emotional intelligence. Somewhere here, my experience, let me just share with you, take 2 more minutes, right? Please tell me if I have really crossed my time, right? 2 more minutes, right? IIT Bhubaneswar is next, okay, in just 2 minutes. What I really realized is that students are not connected to the institution in which they have really spent 4 years. When there was the alumni induction, only less than 5% of the students were sitting in the hall. 1,200 or 1,800 students have passed out from this institution, right? Only less than 5% they felt that they are connected with NIT. Somewhere there is no emotional connection which they really need to have. Social skills, self-awareness, self-regulation, empathy and motivation. I will skip all these things and then I will come to the last one, that this is self-explanatory. In complacency, if you sleep, even if you are lions, you realize that you are stuck in a net. Please take a call. Thank you very much. ये सब निकालना है.
Audience, kindly note, we break for 5 minutes
Bhubaneswar
break
director
for
number is
tea,
with you.
and after that
You
we
can
have
please call him.
Professor Karmalkar, IIT Bhubaneswar director, joining us.
I'll give you the number.
So kindly reassemble back after tea.
It,
Hello.
start, we'll start. No, no, that's skip. He's again busy. Mic दे दीजिए सर को, कॉलर माइक दे दीजिए. Welcome back. I now request Professor Subuddhi for the talk.
ସାଇଟ୍ଟା ଲଗେଇବା ପଡ଼ିବ ଏଇଟା ସାର୍ ୟୁଟ୍ୟୁବ୍ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିମିଂ ହେଉଛି
କ'ଣ ହେଉଛି
ଏଇଟା ସାର୍ ୟୁଟ୍ୟୁବ୍ରେ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିମିଂ ହେଉଛି
ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଙ୍ଗ ହେଉଛି ମାନେ
ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିମିଂ ହେଉଛି ସାର୍
ହଁ ହଁ
ଏଇଟା ସାର୍ ଏଠି କିଛି ମୋବାଇଲ୍ ଅଛି ଏ ସାଇଡ଼୍ରେ
ଏପଟେ ଅଛି ମୋବାଇଲଟା
ମୋବାଇଲ୍ ସାର୍ ଏପଟେ କରିଦିଅନ୍ତୁ ସାର୍ ଟିକେ ଆଗେଇ ଯାଆନ୍ତୁ ଆସନ୍ତୁ
ନା ଏଇଟା ବେଟର୍ ହେବ
No, no, sir. That is YouTube. That's only YouTube.
ନା ଓକେ ହଁ ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ୍ ବେଟର୍ ଦିସ୍ ଇଜ୍ हेलो हेलो ऑन करना हेलो हेलो या हेलो हेलो नहीं इट्स ओके दिस मोबाइल मोबाइल पछरे अछि पछरे नहीं नहीं स्विच ऑफ अछि
This is front.
which is front
This is front. You can just try forward. And this one is
okay
ବେଶୀ ଦରକାର ହେଲା ମୁଁ ଜାଣିଲି ମୁଁ ମୋର ସାଇଡ୍ ବଢ଼େଇ ଦେବି
हाँ ठीक Good morning. Good morning. So, shall I start now? Oh, but for I am waiting then. So, it is again a pleasure to say good morning to all and also to invite to my session. In the beginning, I make a confess that I am not an expert in this area. So whatever I will tell, it is something very, very, very simple. And people like Professor Rao, who is a stalwart in this area, so you may listen to him later. And already you have listened to. So what I will speak is about, first of all, I thank Professor Rao for giving me this opportunity to say some of my understanding, some of my experiences with the colleagues here at NIT Rourkela. So the topic what I will be speaking is the new initiatives in quality education in India. So I will be covering basically the four aspects. One is the two initiatives all of us know, that is the NEP, the National Education Policy, and am I audible by the way? And the second one is the National Credit Framework, and also the role of digital learning in our curriculum design, in our content delivery, so that aspect. And also I am very new to NIT Warangal system, so whenever I speak, still my hysteresis loop is still in this NIT Rourkela mode. So that, so please forgive me, there is a switching. Many times when I address in NIT Warangal, so I say that I wish that NIT Rourkela should be doing this, that, so please pardon me for that, okay, because still it is there. So therefore I am not very, conversant with the progress NIT Warangal has made in this direction, but I am sure that the progress or the leadership what Professor Rao has taken, it is exemplary, okay. So before I start, I believe only one thing. This is the common quote. If you go to a university called University of South Africa, you will find a very famous statement made by Nelson Mandela. He says, destroying any nation does not need the use of atomic bombs or the use of long-range missiles. It only requires lowering the quality of education and allowing cheating in the examination by the students. Okay? So that means if you want to destroy a country, no need of any atomic bombs. Simply lower the quality of education. Make it very substandard education. Make all corruption in. So then you will be successor as winning any nation by destroying it. Okay? So therefore the emphasis of the government is very crucial in this direction, because I must say our government is very conscious about in this raising the standard of education in India. All of you know that I think I was told, I have not read all these, this NBA, National Board of Accreditation. So earlier the people or the student, they get a degree from India, were not considered as the same as other places. The reason is we are not following the accord called Washington Accord. And India was not a signatory country in that list. And fortunately, India became a member of the signatory list in the recent past. And therefore, we are fortunate. We featured in that list, and therefore our students are privileged from being considered as the same as a degree obtained from US University or UK University. So that's why the government has mandated that any degree you will be offering should be NBA accredited. But the problem comes from there again. What is the problem that has come? While I was in Rourkela, I was the Dean Alumni. So the people who graduated long ago, when it is REC Rourkela, they wrote me letters. So I didn't find how to do address that. I only find a person called Professor Patel. So I transmit all those mails to Professor Patel. Why it is so? Because these people were in a serious trouble, because after serving 30 years, the government, particularly the Saudi Arabia and Kuwait, so they have mandated that their degrees should be NBA accredited. But before it was NIT, it was REC. Those days it was not, the degree was NBA accredited. These are very old people. So when they ask for their degrees, we have no, Sambhalpur University, the affiliating university, no documents, only Professor Patel could help, not Subudhi could help that. So then I took the help of Professor Patel, and we somewhat provided a transcript that this is NBA accredited. So coming back to Professor Rao knows it, that there is a strong opposition from IIT fraternity, will not go for NBA accreditation. Okay? So then they said that if you ask for a NBA accreditation, then we will be accredited by a set of people who are supposed to evaluate us. So then there is a mandate that in the IIT system, the accreditation will be followed in a different way. What is the accreditation? It is just like you are sending a list of examiners, and from that list of examiners, a set of people will be picked up and they will evaluate your program. So therefore, in the recent past, IITs are being evaluated in this mode. Okay? Like if IIT Kanpur is to be evaluated, so they will give some 10 names of experts, like you are giving for the examiners for evaluating a PhD thesis, and a set of experts will be chosen, and they will have a task to have an academic audit of the particular department or the program the IIT is having. So the point is that we are conscious, and we must see that our Shastri Bhavan is more conscious than us. And therefore they pick up the smart leaders like Professor Rao to take it forward. And therefore all the directors are following the same direction, how to go ahead with this quality education. So this is the only one agenda before the nation, that how our quality education should be enhanced. And therefore we will win the race across the globe. Okay? So these two initiatives, that is the National Education Policy and National Credit Framework, are two important initiatives by our union government to ensure that our students, what Professor Rao said in the morning, like student-centric, it should be student-centric, not the faculty-centric. And it should be multidisciplinary, multiple exit, the academic bank of credit, a lot of takeaways you would have from this kind of NEP. And it is now by this time COVID started and NEP awareness started. COVID is almost gone, so we have assimilated it. Now the plan of action, how to implement them. So therefore, so this NEP, needless to say that it is a vast policy that has emerged by the fruitful endeavor by some visionaries appointed by the Government of India. And this National Credit Framework is also a framework which enables the student to benefit from this new education system that we are going to discuss in these coming 2 days, what is aimed for. So this is basically, I copied from somewhere because I didn't have time to prepare all these slides, but for clarity I will just discuss it. So this National Credit Framework is basically to realize the intent of the objective of NEP. This framework is created by the High Power Committee by Government of India, and the participating agencies are UGC, AICT and NCVT, the vocational training institutes, and also Department of School Education and Learning, Department of Higher Education, and our own ministry, Ministry of Education. Of course, the Department of Higher Education is within Ministry of Education, and the Ministry of Skill Development. So this National Credit Framework is designed to integrate the credits earned through the school education, higher education, vocational education, skill education, and providing a lifelong opportunities. What I personally conceive is like this. So during the whole 30 years, 40 years of service, put some money in the bank. When you retire, you use all your money when you cannot use them all. So then this is one attribute I can personally feel, the lifelong learning. That means, you see, people, recently I forwarded that through WhatsApp, somebody from India retired at the age of 60. So he went to US to live in with his daughter. Yeah. So he got the Nobel laureate at the age of 102 or something like that. So that means all these credit he accumulated through this lifelong learning, one can avail. So then this one of the best benefit. Yes. So it is basically the National Credit Framework will definitely is a key takeaway towards the lifelong learning. It will enable us, right? So because you see, if you go to any foreign universities, there is a teaching unit which is called lifelong learning. So that means people who already have graduated and working elsewhere as executives or making a part-time, pursuing a part-time program, so they can earn from this city, from this university, they move to the different city and they transfer this credit. So it is a very good, initiative in this direction. Okay, so that is one. And then what is this National Credit Framework is that, so when the student is in university on some points, just like putting some money in the bank, of course putting the money on some interest, but this credit will not some interest. That's the only difference, but I consider the ABC is basically a bank. Your earned money is similar to your earned credits that go to the bank. And then you can use whenever you want. You want to take another degree, use some of the credits you earn for that. You can go to other place. So then there is no worry if you move from one city to other, one country to other. If this NVA will be integrated, the Washington Accord will take care of it. Even somebody has taken a course machine learning here in NIT Rourkela, and he goes to Ohio State University, still he can transfer this credit there. So that is the opportunity. I can foresee that. So the provisions here is that the integration of the academic and vocational education. So the credit framework, suppose in order to do something skill, so we need some training. So therefore we earn the training somewhere and utilize the same somewhere else. So that credit transfer, that mechanism can be ensured in two systems, right? And then the credit system, suppose this is the notional learning hours in a year. So it is estimated that around these national hours refers to the average time spent by a student to attend the classes, study and for test, whatever assignment, etc. So by that, whatever training he accomplishes, and for that, whatever credit he earns, so it can be through a ABC, the Academic Bank of Credit, can be transferred elsewhere. So then these are very much clear that now we are earlier, because I was serving as a chairman curriculum committee here. So we know initially there are something like 250 credits in the BTech, and my team is here sitting before me in the curriculum committee. We have a long debate how to reduce it to 160 credit, and I am glad that today NIT Rourkela has 160. This is a very good decision, that once, because if you raise the number of credits, you will not give them a space to have the creativity, because now you see, now the teachers, I should say, they are not the teachers in the real sense. They are the facilitators, because the same learning environment is available to the student as well. So it becomes a difficult task for the teacher to impart training now. So and the digital technology has made a lot of progress. So therefore, it is very important that we must see that how the credit must be less, so that they get a space to think creatively and to do something creative way. So this credit level, and that is the academic. What the government has mandated to ensure the correctness. There is the Aadhaar enabled student registration system along with the ABC, and I don't know whether Professor Rao, I will tell you that in IIT Goa, so our grant was stopped because we didn't participate in ABC. Okay, so the ABC participation is now mandatory. So every institute has to participate. Otherwise, the OS 35 and OS 31, 36 were stopped for 3 months. So therefore, this is very important. Okay, so and the security, the privacy check is also, because the data security is very important. Because when you put all your money in the bank, so bank is robbed. So you never know, the nationalized bank can give you money, but you may lose your money. So there must be some security, and digital security is more difficult, so that security is very important. So there are a lot of, in other words, I can say the computer scientists have a big role to play here, how to make this data secured, right? So that is important. So therefore, there are a lot of challenges. The challenges are how to implement it, how to standardize it, and how to accept. And because one university to other, how they are accepting it and how to adopt it. And therefore, all these workshops and seminars are the best way to converge to a consensus, and thereby will make it possible to implement. And in my opinion, as all of us know, there are always checks and balances. So people are very happy that if I get my salary, get my promotion, but at the end we have a big responsibility. What is the responsibility for us? We must think that what should our curriculum, what should be our teaching learning process, because teaching learning process is very important for any aspect of your university to be visible in the world arena. So therefore, to make a then there is a debate. So then the curriculum is always there. So you can copy it from IIT Bombay or elsewhere. Then why to spend so much of hours, and why the directors will be very much unhappy when you are not submitting the finalized curriculum to him for approval? The reason is curriculum development is a dynamic process. And once our forefathers have, also they have the BTech in electrical engineering, I am doing the same thing. Then they have the basic electrical, they have the machines and everything there. Then why we go for a curriculum change? The reason is as we know, the interdisciplinary, which is a most interesting aspect of this NEP. So we should create the student enable for multidisciplinary approach. So what is the benefit? Why at all we go for multidisciplinary approach? I conceive in the following way. So let me make a, so if when the time is there, please somebody should remind. I am very bad in maintaining time. So basically what happens, I will share one of my experience that will definitely make you understand what is the need of multidisciplinary approach. I was doing my postdoctoral fellowship in NUS Singapore some years ago, and I was working in the lab. I could meet a professor. I was asking, what is your research area? So the professor was from Georgia Tech. So he said, I am researching on epilepsy. So I said, what is your specialization? He said, control system engineering. He is an electrical professor. And he said, I am working on epilepsy. So I was worried. So the professor, I am also an electrical engineer, and I don't know ABC of epilepsy. And this gentleman is working on epilepsy. So then I said, can you please tell me? I had a lot of interest to see what he's doing. So then I asked, what is the research you are pursuing? He said, there was a call for proposal. That is the biggest funding agency is NSF. And the government of US has mandated that we should come up with a solution how to combat this disease called epilepsy. So this gentleman along his group submitted a proposal and they were successful. And the proposal, so the research agenda before them is how to suggest the government to take care of this one. So what it narrated to me that in that group there are 10 people. Out of 10, 9 were all electrical engineers. One is an electrical engineer plus a doctor, having a doctor degree. So he has a degree from medicine also. So having a degree in medicine, he had the added advantage, he could articulate some of the causes or some of the reasons of some of the medical associated terminologies to these other guys. So he said, if you inject penicillin to a rat's body and take the ease signal, it is the similar signal you will be obtaining from an epileptic patient. Now the problem solution is very simple. I always tell the same thing to all the research students. In the real life, we are always going away from the problems. But in the research life, we are worried about to create a problem. So if you are a good researcher, always create a problem. Okay, so these people then they created a problem. The problem is how to, when the signal become, very much destabilizing signal, so how to make it stabilized. So make a simulation, they come up with an idea, then implement it, and they took the permission of the government and implanted a device what could generate a signal so that the epilepsy, the time of attack of the epilepsy, that spurious signal could be nullified, the effect could be nullified. So they were successful in combating such a disease in US because of this multidisciplinary approach. Somebody is electrical, somebody is medicine, and somebody finally who implemented it the other direction also. So therefore, to the basic purpose of the research, as I said you, that we are not only coming to the board, those days are gone. Going to the board, that pilawala paper we bring to the class and write on the board, these are all gone. So we should train our student in our research. That's why always I am advocating research should start from the undergraduate level. So they must need they must know the importance of research. So meaning, so what for we are studying. So suppose I study something, so I should see how best it can be utilized to solve a real world problem. That's what the reason is outcome based education. It's not that how much grade I secure, what grade I secure. It is basically the technology I learn, how I can address the problem that I am supposed to do for the sake of the prosperity of the nation or what is most demanded. For example, there is a local problem. Okay? So then how to address that problem through research. So therefore our Honorable Prime Minister has already said, you be conscious about your addressing the local problem, that is called what is called Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliant India. This is the slogan actually. So if I stay in Rourkela, if Rourkela has a specific problem, so NIT Rourkela should be taking a conscious effort in addressing those problems first. That should be embedded in the research. I should formulate the research in that way. And so that the problem should address the local problem first. Research must address the local problem first. Then the global problems, like all these sustainable development points, there are 17 sustainable goals, so we can take them on priority basis. So our research should be directed in that direction, right? And if the place is, let us say, after joining IIT Goa, I could see that Goa is very much a good place for marine science and technology. So I developed a rapport with the naval group in France. So we took it forward. So then what is demanded from the local, we should be addressing those first. Then take the global ones. So the point is that the curriculum must be interdisciplinary or multidisciplinary and should have a good skill set, and the community engagement and all that should be there. And you could see I have written this UVA, the what is called Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. So you could see that this Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, this government initiative is a very nice initiative. I didn't know much about it because the director has a good chance of learning when you sit on the audience. So yesterday some IIT Delhi professor was presenting in NIT Warangal, okay. So about this Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, I could sense something that they have adopted, NIT Warangal has adopted several rural areas for their prosperity. and they need some kind of technology. For example, what I could understand, being an electrical engineer, if NIT Rourkela could adopt a village nearby and provide them photovoltaic energy, because lot of solar radiation here, and then we can integrate with our conventional, other hydel or something, make the computer science engineers can mandate for a server, demand server analysis, so where they can be directed that you use this power, the solar power during daytime, in the night time you can switch on to wind, let us say, or so then effective utilization would be happening. Similarly, our civil engineering department could adopt that a solar passive house, lot of, the May, June, terrible summer here. So if it is a solar passive house, it is good. So you use your technology for the benefit of nation. That is what needed, not like publishing papers and doing something. I was in the selection committee of IIT Kharagpur professor selection recently in electrical. So in that I appreciate the question raised by the Professor Tiwari, the director. So in the professor interview, the first question was how many startups you have, how many transnational research you have, what are the technology you have transport to industry. So that is now required. It's not like the how many papers you published, how many you guided. Those days will be completely vanishing soon. So obviously I must say, I was asked in the interview, the last interview for the director, so you are the right man to be questioned that what is the difference in the recruitment policy in NIT system and IIT system. I was very polite in my answer. I said I believe that now it becomes so difficult to enter into NIT system as a professor, because the number is very big numbers, lot of things to do. But if you see the IIT system, it is very, transparent. So now the question is, if you run after the number game, obviously you will motivate people to accumulate more numbers. So I made a very humble suggestion in the committee that instead I would suggest, so these numbers should not be a starting, point to select somebody. So I believe that Professor Rao has mandated something in the selection. I appreciate that. I am quite aware of what you are doing. Yeah, so that is quite interesting, because the numbers, what numbers, big numbers, because people come to my office, sir, last time I secured 90, the previous director has not given a promotion, he has given to person who secured 80. So my answer to him is that, please don't come to my office with numbers, I don't believe in numbers. You just tell me how many, like that, startups, patents, etc. you have done. So what Professor Rao has mandated, I quite appreciate that. So these are only the tier 1 kind of scrutinization. This can be considered as tier 1. Tier 2, what he has mandated, like the number of projects, good, publication, the numbers are very few, but they are qualitative, right? Number 3, the tier 3, it is basically the presentation and your whatever the interview. So then by the time you come to the board, you know that whether you will be selected or not selected. You don't blame your director, because already 80 marks only 20 marks there in the interview. This is a very good process. So I was of the same opinion, I narrated in the board, so there is a lot of debate. So the point I want to make here is that we should not go for only the publication for the sake of research. We should do the research. If I say, in my very stint as a Dean R&D in IIT Goa, I emphasized, if anyone would come with a transnational research, I am the first one to advocate to provide the money from the director's approval. The reason I have said, I have invited some mechanical professor, he has not done very big things, very small things, like the bamboo, we make some kind of, some utensils, some kind of furnitures, etc. And these poor people in the village, they spend a lot of time, lot of hand, work to develop all those. And this, professor, he wrote, I encouraged him to write a proposal to DST to get a seed grant. And with that grant, he developed some machineries, and that were used to create those kind of manufacturing with machines. So these poor ladies in the village save their time on their livelihood. So this is the good transnational research example I can share with you. So the purpose of saying all this, we should be now conscious effort to engage ourselves, to engage our research student, to take a problem for the benefit of the society. And you may debate that if somebody will prepare some bamboo machinery, will he get a degree? No, my answer is there. So the answer is that even you can integrate several other things. This will be one contribution. Several such contribution together, you will definitely qualify to get a degree, right? And also, if you are unsuccessful also, still there is a scope to get a degree. Because if I see, I went to a university called University of Plymouth. I was going to the library, some of the previous theses. I could see that one thesis, it has no nice results in the end of the chapters. Very poor results, and it is written, no, this has not obtained, and all the successful attempts he has made. 30 attempts experiment made, but not good results. But even then he got a degree. The reason is those unsuccessful stories will lead to a successful attempt for the succeeder, right? So we are all afraid that if I put my wrong results or attempts wrongly, then I may be deprived of getting a degree. Not true. You should make a very conscious and honest opinion, your trials and what made you to fail, and what the next direction can be made from that successful trials to make a successful happening in the next, right? So that is one I am emphasizing. So my only focus, because I am all along last 10 years I was in curriculum, right? So wherever I go, I only speak on curriculum, that's it. So okay, so my opinion would be the tinkering labs. The institute should spend a lot of money in tinkering labs. You see, if you grow older, your ideas will be less. But if you are young, your ideas are more. So these young students, they have a lot of ideas, Let us harness those. You give a big tinkering lab to them. They will come up with new ideas, new kind of small projects. So tinkering labs should be incorporated in the curriculum. Okay. So the ABCs already you know that, and maybe culture, heritage, all that should be there. So more emphasis, only 3 things I emphasize here. One is the multidisciplinary approach should be there, tinkering lab should be there, and there should be a direction how to move, how the student would be motivated to engage themselves in translational research. That should be reflected in our curriculum. Okay? And of course the communication skills, because if you see a thesis for a PhD student, you are lost the grammar, where the noun starts, where the pronoun is. So any pressures, we should give more emphasis on the soft skill also in our curriculum. Because, and also having said that, we have in NIT Rourkela, we have good seminars, number of seminars. But I believe that these seminars should be re-tailored, re-customized. So in what way it should be customized, in my opinion, suppose you are a final year student and you want to propagate a message that this is the product my startup company is having. How to make it visible in the eyes of the takers. So that kind of seminar. Seminar could be split in 2 categories. One is the research or academic seminar, the other could be your product made visible across the industry community or the people who are going to fund you to develop that product. That kind of seminar. Okay. So then our curriculum must look into the career options. I made a statistical survey. I could find that our NIT graduates particularly choose this kind of career options. They choose 30% of our students choose only teaching and R&D, and about 30% go to now startup or entrepreneurship. Only 40% they go to, rest 40% go to industry as leaders. So we must provide sufficient electives. We must provide sufficient internship opportunities for them. We must provide sufficient project-based learning to them. So they will be finding themselves comfortable to choose their career option in the way I proposed. For example, you can choose some research-based teaching programs. You can go for some thrust on the how to they develop the startups. You can encourage them to have some co-programs, not only the internship program. Please emphasize this term. It's not only the internship program, the co-program. Co-program, I mean the same set of training or internship multiple times to reach the goal, right? That is the co-programs. So then that should be necessary now. And you can motivate you can design your curriculum so that the student will get a motivation towards designing the product-oriented stops. Like the research will lead to a product, maybe a software for whatever. So then research is not only producing the documents that the research publish. I am not denying that you should not publish, because once you publish then only product will come. So research should be there, but emphasis should be on having the products coming from there. Okay. And my emphasis is on learning through research, because we should start the process from the undergraduate level. So we should create a feeling for our undergraduate student to start, or to the BTech project to be taken very seriously. Like you know that there are a lot of debates everywhere in IITs and NITs that in place of the BTech projects we give some courses they should take, and because these students are cheating, they are not serious in their BTech projects. But I personally believe, please somebody will tell me that when my time is off, otherwise other people will, because I never conclude my slides because a lot of slides are there. 5 minutes, okay, I will try to complete now, okay. So then what I also emphasize that the research kind of motivation should come at the undergraduate level, and you should create a feeling that how this teaching and research can be combined, and how they can be motivated for critical thinking, creativity, problem solving, self-confidence and intellectual independence. So these kind of things if you can inculcate at the BTech level, I think we can achieve a lot of things towards the next phase of their research career. So this slide I have put here because the Ministry of Education has emphasized or encouraged all the directors to see the quality of education to be ensured. But while making the quality of education more enhanced or enriched, it is also the government of India is very conscious to emphasize on this technology called unmanned aircraft system, drone and related technologies. So there is a huge emphasis by the government of India. With in the coming few years you will see Bangalore, if you see in the electronic city you stay and you want to come back to the airport, takes 3 hours in any working day. The reason is lot of crowd, lot of traffic. So the technology should come to help us how somebody can, instead of going by a car, by a drone, I can pick it up from electronic city, reach the airport. So when there is a flood, how this drone will help us? Agriculture, satellite monitoring, so many aspects. So the drone will be our workhorse in the years to come. So therefore, to make a drone operational, we need different technology. We need real the multidisciplinary research here in the drone technology. Because in the recent past, I participated in IIT Bombay in the drone proposal to the government of India, the NEP, where we have proposed 100 crores. And there I am the participating contributor from Goa, rest from IIT Bombay, and another one institute there. So we'll have a drone testing center. We'll create what we'll do, we have proposal of embedding the human intelligence into the drone, right? So that is the intelligent drone is the expectation. Now what is there, so I emphasize here NIT Rourkela being one of the most leading NITs, should take the lead in introducing some of the minor degree programs in this area to join hand with the government intent in this endeavor, right? And particularly one we can offer the MTech in unmanned aerial vehicles, and we can also these AI, machine learning, all these technologies are most suitable ones, most required ones for this direction. Okay? And of course, as I said, there is around an outlay of 300 crores by 2030, and there is a leverage, production linked leverage, and many manufacturing will come around 900 crores, drone manufacturing industry, and there is a drone industry, there are a lot of job opportunities in these areas. So therefore, I also got a project called capacity building on drone in this area, and fortunately one of our professors in IIT Kurnool, Somayajulu, so he the director there, so he the coordinator for this project. I think NIT Rourkela is also participating. Somebody, yes, NIT Rourkela I have seen in the list. So please consider this in the curriculum. This is my suggestion. Of course, your director will advise you. Okay. So this is one of the, and these are the areas where you can emphasize in your curriculum. One of the areas, the drone electronics, And simulation algorithms, guidance, navigation, control, all these control people and mechanical people can contribute. And you can also contribute in aerodynamics, aeromechanics, like our mechanical engineers could contribute. I am giving a true example of multidisciplinary need of this NEP, which government has rightly thought. I must, I am very happy that the government has taken a very, very conscious effort in this direction. Okay. And then we have the drone application, any takers. And we have the allied, the unmanned spacecraft technology. Okay, so all these AI, machine learning, I think Santosh is here, the IoT, machine learning, all these IoT areas can be combined here, right? So, of course, our curriculum, teaching, R&D, industry, we should not have a airtight compartments, we should have a correlation these three components. And because of paucity of time, I skip all these are very non-stops, copied from somewhere. I will not tell about it, okay? So only I emphasize that the research emphasis part I am always focusing on this, because other things are being told a lot. So basically the multidisciplinarity will promote good research, and then clustering the educational research institute. So when you apply for a project, please keep in mind, we must apply in congregation. Many institutes should participate, so that your knowledge will be double, triple like that, and your equipment can be jointly shared, and your ideas can be more enhanced, and government will appreciate to give you the project. Take a very chosen area of research and participate in the research, okay? So then national, international, and you can always try bilateral projects, trilateral projects, okay, try 2 countries, 3 countries, so that what will have the true internationalization, that is one of the agenda in the NEP, can come true. And industry collaboration, you can get it very easily in this direction. So these I will skip for the paucity of time. These are all available in the internet stops. Only my ideas I shared with a little span. So this is the industry expectation, what they want. The last point I emphasize only the TRL. You do the research, but what is your research coming to tell that how I am ready with industry expectation, TRL level, that's expected, right? And then graduate outcomes, all of you know that what the teacher is expected to do in the coming years. We must be engaged, all these, your enhancement, soft skill, all these NBA, you know, you are engaged in. So I will skip all those. And I will skip all those because of paucity of time. Oh yeah, I will spend some time here where it is going backward or frontward? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so this digital learning has enough scope in our new education policy, the national education policy, because everybody should be smart. We take the advantage. Suppose what I mean by that, let us say NIT Rourkela has developed a program and somebody is teaching this. Why IIT Goa will take another, so we can combine together. So by that what will happen? We can know each other, which is the professional who has made a big name in this teaching. So across the institute we can take the advantage. And we can use the same for, devising also, the foreign people can also, the foreign student also can take the advantage of this. So then this digital infrastructure has to be improved. So a lot of challenges are there, and okay, so then we are only concerned about the outcome based model of the accreditation. There are the other modes, like we can now the program mode, peer review model, so these will be coming in future. So this model, all of you know, this is the NBA model, outcome based model. And NIT Warangal has just started introducing this multidisciplinary approach and all that, not big stories, so that I should skip it. So maybe I don't know. So these because NRF, that's good, our country ranking business, but so far the QS ranking, we need to onboard. But funny question, again I am sharing in the interview board one of the questions, what would be the piece of advice to NIT Rourkela? I said I already left NIT Rourkela. So my suggestion would be that we can onboard more foreign students, which is being done here. But we should think of adding more students to our student system, and we can onboard more foreign faculty to the system. So because you see because QS ranking also takes into consideration that. And one of the easiest way of doing the same is We have lot of alumni in the teaching universities in abroad. So they usually choose a good time to come to India. We can take their help to offer them scholar in residence or maybe visiting professor. No, visiting we cannot give because they cannot earn salary. Only that adjunct professor mode we can hire them so that we can temporarily add them some NRI faculty for some. I don't know the modalities, but at least it can be doable. So foreign student, foreign faculty. Okay, so that is important for the good ranks. So with this discussion, I must conclude that we have a lot of things for the student centric. They are the future architects of our nation in terms of they should own the education, and it is not should be detected by the faculty. It should they own the education. They are their own architect. Students should be able by this new education policy observe, investigate, innovate, and curious to learn. With these experiences, I want to share. Thank you for your patient hearing, and if you can, interact, I will be happy to that.
Yeah, we take some questions, one or two questions before we summarize this particular session. Any questions from the audience? You just raise your hand, I'll come to you.
I was expecting Professor Gupta because he is the stalwart here, doing something good.
My question is that we NIT Rourkela has been participating in several European Union programs for internationalization. So, what is the scope of internationalization in NEP? We have been past, we have been working NIT Rourkela has been working. Now we don't see anything, any viewpoint of internationalization of this.
Yeah, this is a very interesting question and very pertinent question, I believe. So, internalization is not that easy, but my suggestions I will put here, you may debate on it. So, when I say internalization, so this I could give an example to you. Like all these NBA accreditation, they have originally come from this ABET, right? So, therefore, when we follow something, it is not uncommon that our neighboring countries or the country like US have already are aware with these kind of things. So what we will be doing in the ambit of NEP is that we can have joint programs, okay, with some foreign university. That is point number one. We can invite some professors with a Fulbright scheme to spend some time with here. We can send our faculty to there to spend a semester for Fulbright scheme, right? And we can also invite students to pursue the internship in India, not only maybe any other country, okay? So the internship is also another aspect. And we can invite these people, when I say the stakeholders for a curriculum design, it is only the faculty, industry, parents, these, that. We can still, because nowadays online mode is quite visible, you can put these people in your curriculum development committee, right? So you get an international flavor in this. And the international way of teaching, because you see, our conventional Indian mode of teaching earlier, we have improved a lot. So we have gradually changed a lot. So we should know about each culture. It is basically a cultural exchange. We should know what they are doing and always follow the best practices that are being there in US or any other leading countries. We can discuss and introduce here. So those are the takeaways from this internalization point from the NEP, in my opinion. Yes, please.
Thank you, sir. We'll take one more question. Thank you, Professor. I really remember the days when we are together with the summer internship program, initial days at NIT Rourkela. So
I do remember also.
In fact, I have seen your innovations there. It was really commendable. I have one concern regarding the industry transfer. Everybody speaks a lot about industry transfer in IITs, NITs, everywhere across the country. But it doesn't really last the dream of our nation. There is a big gap. That's what our director was telling. It's a big gap, we have to match it. For that, the thought is like that. In fact, if faculty doesn't work in industry, then he cannot give the flavor of the requirement of industry to the students. So there was a long time back, I remember, some time back, we had a scheme like a faculty to go and join an industry, being a full-time faculty here, earn money, so that stay there for 6 months or 1 year, just like going outside India. So, and then he will get remuneration from the industry, giving a motivation, but in turn it will really arm our institute, our students, and bridging the gap between industry and institutions. All the times we have been working with projects from DST, DIT, MSRT, DIT, so, but they have all stayed in the dreams, only in tip of paper benches. They have not really, most of the times, not always, they have not translated or gone to the industry. So, will you throw more light on practical purposes to achieve such gap?
Yeah. So I first of all thank you very much, because this is the point I noted in a paper to discuss, because this is my laziness to put in the slide. So this point I wanted to emphasize here. This is the most interesting point. The point I want to make here, just for a while, you just consider the medical education model. Medical education model. Any medical college having a OPD facility, and any medical student will first be exposed to that. Okay, or maybe housemanship with a internship like that. So, if for example NIT Rourkela and Rourkela steel plant can combine together, and you remember our past managing director was our alumnus, Mr. Prasad. He once made a statement. He said, you consider the RSP Rourkela's your extension labs here, right? So what you can do is that to create two things I propose. One, the local industry, which is a very reputed industry, and where lot of technology needed from the institute, you can combinedly offer some courses and invite those people in this RSP Rourkela having no degree at all, PhD degree, nothing else, invite them as professor of practice, right? So then you offer a course, give a module to them, they should teach that, so the student will get a flavor of the industry. Also, in the return, what you said, that is very right. Suppose you are working in an embedded system. So you choose an industry of your choice where you can contribute with your industry counterpart. So the institute may make a provision to send you there to make a sabbatical there. You spend 1 year there or 6 months there. Your choice. What is the time frame you want? You get a salary from here. The industry will give you, accommodation, etc. So you will work in the industry itself for 1 year. Every faculty should, that should be mandatory. Every faculty should spend at least 1 year, maybe within 10 years, time span in the industry of his choice, and bring back to the academics for the joint research, joint teaching like that. So that will, I think, make the purpose solved. Is that okay? Am I reached to your point?
I think Madam wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir, for giving a lot of inputs from the side. Sir, we had already product development lab. So how do you think additionally what we should do for this tinkering lab? Because that is the best way to create innovation.
Yeah.
And whether the thought should be given earlier, we are giving the thought was given by the faculty, the project. But do you think if the students innovate, we will give him the opportunity and all the required components, let's say, facilitate them, that will be better?
Yeah, that's a very good direction. So basically what I mean by this tinkering lab, we have, let us say, basic electric lab or basic electronics lab, microprocessor lab, this, that. So what we do normally, we give a set of equipment, tell them do this experiment and go away, right? So the product development lab or the tinkering lab, whatever you call, give any name. So you make them fearless fast. If you tell your child in the beginning that don't touch that instrument or mobile, he will not learn. Why the children are learning mobile faster than you? The reason is they have no fear. Parent will no more now tell us that it is broken. So that fear should go fast. So how to make the fearless? To make them fearless, they should have some virtual instrumentation. To make a provision before going to simulation, tinkering lab, let us have provision for the virtual reality or augmented reality like you mentioned. So let us say the signal will look like that, so they should get a feel through virtual instrumentation. Then provide them enough component, they should play around. So make a habit of learning through playing. Okay? So you browse so many, the older people, maybe very good professors, they are very unhappy with this mobile phone, they don't know how to operate. But small guy doesn't know any technology, operate it very quickly. Why? Because fearless, get enough opportunity. So the point I want to make, you make them first number fearless. If it is broken, don't worry about it, give them enough components, let them, invite them, maybe you create a ideation award for the students. Invite the best awards from the particular lab, you give a best prize for that. Let the best ideas who come, ask them for the components and provide enough opportunity to them, and then I believe that it will come up. Okay?
I think we have exceeded the time. We will take one last question from Professor Das.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have a question related to product-oriented research. Most of my students are doing product-oriented research. I have seen after 3-4 years, they have already submitted patents and product actually have prototype. But now they are trying it because sometimes they are learning because they have completed. And now they have started submitting articles in different journals. Low current journals because they want to come. So is there any way to any model to facilitate to some type of student? Like I think I got in US or in foreign countries, they have got product oriented. They can come in.
Yeah, so actually NEP will motivate you, NEP will enable you. So you are the implementing authority, right? So in a way, for a student, how you will implement, so what you need. Nowadays you see, my opinion is you need not to ask the director for money. Rather you should give extra money to the director. I brought the project from this grant. Because your research project should earn more money. And it should become financed. So try to write to industry, make them confident that your research will bring a glory or bring a product to them. So thereby they will be ready to fund you. I will tell you, please excuse me for this regard. The invitation should come from the industry, not from you. So you make a kind of your visibility in the eyes of the industry. Okay, this gentleman can do this product for us. So you create such a situation yourself. Okay? So then, if the industry will join hand with you, you just extend it to by team. What you are doing, you do the same thing. Like the government has given the imprint project. What for the purpose? The purpose is to come up with a product. Okay, so your visibility to the industry is more needed. Okay.
Yeah, I think we have run out of time. I think Professor Subudhi is there with us, so we could take some questions offline. So I now request Director Sir for his closing remarks about the recommendations made by Professor Subudhi.
No, we will do it at the end.
You can just for industry. Right.
I think it's a very elaborately explained what exactly are the benefits about this one, and then I think we will take all the recommendations at the end. That's what gives the session, in which each one has got Samantari is also trying to ask some questions. We will take all the questions because other speakers are also there.
Yeah.
And then we'll do the session.
Thank you once again for your patient hearing and your interaction and good opportunity given by Professor Rao for me to share my experiences. Okay.
Yeah, I thank Professor Subudhi again.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
The next session immediately would be from Professor.
Oh, yours.
20 minutes late.
Point kura ko ida.
Pointer ita. Next, the previous. The mobile box.
Yeah. ठीक है. चलो start करें. Hello. Yeah. So I am delayed by 20 minutes. Okay. So my talk is on multiple entry and multiple exit. our director sir has already explained in principle in which year we should allow the outside student to enter, and also our own student who has taken the exit, when they should enter and when they can able to exit. But in this talk, what I will be highlighting is that the detailed guidelines that what we have proposed. Initially, when we were looking for what is there to write down, etc., etc., so we looked for whether this policy has already been implemented in outside institutes, in IITs and NITs. Unfortunately, sir, we could not get anywhere the detailed stepwise the write-up guideline that we should allow the entry and exit. So this that outcome of my all team members over various brainstorming sessions. So the talk will be limited to only those programs, UG programs that is taken, who have taken admissions through JOSA and CSAT. So these are the only 3 programs that we are running now. There is a BTech 4-year, dual degree 5-year and integrated PG program through JOSA and CSAT. So let's start with the BTech program. So here first the talk will be like this. For every year there would be a provision for exit, and then there should be a provision for the entry, and this entry will be for 2 types. One for our own student, so we have designated the term re-entry, and if they are the students of outside institute, we have designated the terminology entry. So for there are 4 years, for every year there will be 3 parts. One is exit, second is re-entry for our own student, and entry for the outside student. So let us begin with first from the admissions. So admission procedure will be same as usual what we are currently following. So beginning of the first year through JOSA and CSAT, or whatever the guidelines that time the Ministry of Education will give us, we will follow that. But every student, as our director sir has told, that every student after whether at the time of admission, he has to open an account in the Academic Bank of Credit, and that is Aadhaar enabled. And one condition that we have seen in National Credit Framework is that once a credit is earned by a student, it will be stored in the Academic Bank of Credit, and it remains valid for 7 years only. So this is the reason why we have limited our BTech program maximum 8 years. First year he will earn the credit, it remains for next 7 years, so 8 years it remains valid. So thus, initially we were thinking that NEP says that it should be lifelong learning. So we are also first thinking that the student can come to an institute for study at any time, even at the old age also he can come and allow. But because of this limit, that 7 years validity of the credit, we have limited the maximum duration in which, within which a student should complete his course each 8 years. So 8 years, that is the double of the normal durations. So that's why based on this principle, for the other program, we have decided that it should be twice the normal durations. So he will take a time 4 years to study. So the remaining 8 minus 4 years he can spend outside. So maximum period of break for any student would be maximum 4 years. So entry and exit this will be allowed any number of times, but within these 8 years. And next is that we have put a conditions that let us not make a chaos, that within a year he can maximum only once he can take an entry or exit, not more than. Yeah, that means within a year he cannot come back as many times he wants. So that means since it is once per year, so within 8 years, 4 times he will study here. So within the rest 4 years, he can take maximum 4 entry or 4 exits. Once he has taken an exit, because he has to complete his course within 8 years, 8 minus 4 is 4. So he must come back within a maximum period of 4 years. If he missed that 4 years, then he will not be able to complete the course. And since they are our students, our institute will have a provision to keep track of all those students. Every year, whenever the semester session starts, few months before, we will be tracking those students. We will be sending group emails or whatever provision we can have it in our website, that if anybody is interested to come back, you let us know. So accordingly, we can have a provision for them in that year. And we will first give preference to our own students, and if any seats remains vacant, then we can open the entry for the outside students. So we will be keeping tracking of all those our students who have taken exit. An outside student, they have to wait 1 year. at least. That means we will be allowing for the outside students to come into our institute for study from second year onwards. They will not be allowed in the first year. But our own students, they can take exit at any time and also come at any time and continue his study. And because they have already taken institute, there is a reserved seat for our own student. So even if there is no vacancy in any year, we should give preference to our own students. That means our own students come in any semester, either odd semester or even semester, but the outside student will be allowed only at the beginning of a academic year, that is the odd semester, or we call it in the autumn semester. So these are the various degrees that we have proposed to provide if a student takes a exit at various points of time. So every year, in every semester 20 credits, and every year 40 credits minimum, and a 4 years course, he should have a minimum of 160 credit. In fact, in our institute, sir, before the NEP comes, we have already are having this on and around 160 credits. Earlier we used to have 200 plus credit, but we have already reduced it. So after first year, since the course is common for all the students, the degree that will be giving it on exit will be Foundation in Engineering. Even for the integrated MSc student, that will also, because they read the same course, so for them also the degree name we should give it, we are proposing that it should be Foundation in Engineering. Then after second year, it is 80 credits, 2 years, it should be Diploma in Corresponding Engineering, Diploma in Mechanical Engineering, Diploma in Civil Engineering. After third year, initially we have proposed that we should give it some name, some degree we should have it. Then we have, sir, before this we have presented to all the HODs, and all the HODs also in the departmental level also they have discussed with our faculty members. So these slides are more or less common to all the faculty members, and we have received feedbacks from them. Again, we have an NEP team, we have set down various sessions, and finally we thought that let us not give it, and also we discussed with you that let us not give any degree after third year. Advanced diploma, BSc Engineering, various names we have thought of. Then we thought that that degree at present, right now, maybe in the future, that is has got no more that employability, because at such in the market, that name has got no employability. So let us not give any degree now after third year. Let him complete the fourth year and will be giving finally a BTech degree. Now, after receiving feedback from the departments and other inputs, earlier we were thinking that we should be giving to the students, even for those who have completed at least 50% of the courses in NIT Rourkela, we should be giving the degrees. Earlier we were thinking. But after the giving feedback and various discussion, finally we have decided that no, we will be giving all these degrees only to our students. Our student means those who have taken admission through JOSA and CSAP in the first year. And the students who will be entering here at, after second year or third year, fourth year, we will not be giving that any of these degrees to them. They have to take degrees from their own parent institutes. That is the latest decisions that we have taken here. Okay, sir. Okay, now let us go step by step. First year, second year, third year, fourth year, and every year exit, entry, this one. So during first year exit, yes, if the student is not interested after taking this, he has got some other interest, we will not force anybody to stay here. He can take exit anytime. Anytime in any month, any semester, he can leave it, no problem. But we will not be giving any certificate then. And if he has completed only first year, then only whatever the credits he has earned in the first year, that will be stored in the academic bank of credit. But if he leaves in the first semester, he just leaves it without any certificate, without any storage of credits in the academic bank of credit. But if he leaves in the second year, because since he has completed first semester, yes, he will be allowed without any certificate. Only thing is that all the credits that he have earned will be stored in the ABC. Now in the first year, re-entry of our own students. Earlier he has left and he wants to come back. Yes, they will be allowed, and they will be allowed in the respective semester. This is also current practice we are having, but now we are not allowing others without having a valid reason, but now we will be allowing. And as per its eligibility, if he has left, if he has completed first semester, he will be in the second semester. If he has not completed, he will re-enter in the first semester. Simple. But entry for the outside student, not allowed. He has to wait at least 1 year. Now let's come to second year. Yes, if anybody wants to exit, we will allow him, whether in the third semester or fourth semester. But if he has completed a minimum credit of 40, and if he wants to leave in during second year, he will be issued with a certificate called Foundation in Engineering. If it is less than 40 credits, no certificate will be issued. He will be allowed to leave without any certificate. But majority of our students, sir, will not be leaving. They will like to continue in our this one. All these provision, whatever we are doing it, only for a few percentage of the students, maybe maximum, I think 5 to 10%. Most of the students also will not leave. They will continue. Yes, they will be allowed as usual, as per the current practice. Now second year, re-entry for our own students. Yes, we will allow their own students. If they are eligible, wherever they are eligibility, they will come either in the third or in the fourth. We will allow in any of the semester. Now comes the various guidelines. This is the main slides that we have prepared, various conditions that we have jotted down here. This is first year is over, and now our door is open for the outside students of the outside institutes. We have decided that initially we will not be allowing, although NEP says that it should be student-centric, and our country is, it should be open, there should be no bias and all, it should be open to all. But we thought that initially it would be difficult to manage if we allow the doors to each and every one across the country. So we have limited only to those students who have participated in JOSA and CSAB and taken admissions, and only those institutes which are coming under Ministry of Education, Government of India, like NIT. So we have limited to only these ones. Not for the, even we have received feedback that we should allow the state engineering colleges and all. Finally, we have decided, let us not start now. In future, we may, but now only CFTI is coming under Ministry of Education, and he must have taken admission through JOSA and CSAT. And also, not all the students having any CGPA, only good student will allow them. That is, having a minimum CGPA of 8.5, we can have, later on we can debate whether it will be still rich or still less. We have received feedback that it should be even less than that, but finally we stick to 8.5. And only in the same branch, not that taken other institute, taken some other branch and come here. No, computer will come to computer, like this. And if the exact same name is not available in our institute, like say medical electronics is not available in our institute, but that student come here, yes, if the department says that it is equivalent to our biomedical engineering, yes, we can allow it. Triple E, if it is, the department says, yes, they are suitable to electrical, we can accept it. If the same, because triple E we don't have it in NIT Rourkela, so we can accept it. IT similarly, okay. Now, he must have completed minimum 40 credits without any backlog, and also that we have to see that he has read the courses which are equivalent to at least whatever the courses our students are reading in this our NIT Rourkela. So this will be, of course, it will be a difficult one, because unless and otherwise all NITs agrees that we should follow the same courses in the first years. And finally, because different institutes have different credit policy, credit systems, their standards of examinations may be different. That's why to normalize it, finally we will be conducting an entrance exam based on the first year syllabus, and since it is common to all the branches, it should be centrally conducted by the institute. So if these 5 conditions are satisfied, only those students will be allowed to enter, to take admissions in our institute, but they will not be called our own students. They will not be getting degree from our institute. They will be only coming here to take the education. That's all. Then question comes, how many students we will be allowing this one? So before that, you have to calculate the vacancy branch wise. To do that, first our branch change for our own students has to be over. If we have any seats vacant, only those students, only those seats will be filled up by the outside student by taking here. Because we have also some limitation in our hostels and other facilities, infrastructure. So we will not be allowing all. There will be a limit depending upon our sanction strength. So after branch change is over, then only we will be deciding the vacancies. And preference will be given to our own student if they want to come back, and after that it should be, whatever left will be open to the outside students. Branch change we have now, and the same branch change policy will be continuing. NEP also says that it should be student centric and branch change must be there. And we are going with the branch change this one. And branch change will be as usual as per the CGPA. Okay. Now this is the table that we have copied from National Credit Framework, and it says that the students, those who have gone outside, taken exit, so they may go to two different types of organizations. Either he will be reading in some other educational institutes, or he will be doing some job in some industries. So whatever he does outside, that has to be creditized. That is the National Credit Framework says. So whatever the experience he has earned while working in any industries has to be given some credits, and this will be stored in the academic bank of credit. Then how to evaluate this one? This is the framework that has been tabulated, and this is not our team framework, this one. This is the National Credit Framework. They says like this. That means if he has, and this will, and who will decide? We have proposed that every department has our departmental academic committee, DAC, and that is the right committee to decide how much credit we should give it for this one. And for that, assessment must be there compulsorily in whatever form or other. Because credit framework says there must be a compulsory assessment. So this depends upon the two aspects. One is the reputation of the organization, where he has worked, and also how long he has worked, the number of years. And these tables says that as per the number of years, if he has performed for up to 1 year, that means the level is called trend, then the weightage is 1, means he should be, because a credit, you say the practical course, the credit is usually give it 2 credits. So weighting factor is 1, so 2 into 1, the credit should be 2. But if he has worked up to between 1 and 4 years, then weightage factor is 1.33, so accordingly, instead of 2, it will be 2.66. So like this, as the number of years of experience is more and more, the credit that you will be earning will vary from 2 to 4. But even if you earn for 10, 20 years, maximum credit that you will be earning will be 4, only the twice, not more than that, between 2 and 4. But if he has learned, if he has studied somewhere else, but that credit system is something different, may not be matching with our own examination pattern and credit systems, that will decide all those academic courses, what is the corresponding equivalent credit that will be reflecting in our institute. So that also will be, DAC will be deciding. So DAC will be deciding 2 things. One is academic courses done in academic institution, this slide says, and if you have worked in some industries, experiential learning, that will be decided as per the previous slides. Second year over, now let's come to third year. Almost, sir, from this slide onward, almost is repetitive. The main point has been explained. Now all this is repetitive slides. Okay. So as per the, depending upon the credits, the different degrees will be given at various these ones. And if you want to, if no exit, he will continue in the third year. Again, re-entry for our own students will be allowed either in 5th or 6th, any semesters. Similarly, 2 types of experience he might have had. If it is experiential learning, as per the table that I have shown. If it is done outside, again, same credit, same. Now, similarly, entry for the outside student at third year also will be allowing. Same slides, only difference is that the last line is that now the entrance will be not centrally, because now they have come to different branches, branch subject they have read it. The entrance will be conducted by the concerned department. That's the difference. Now comes to 4th year, he wants to exit. Now, yes, will be allowed anytime, either in 7th or 8th. Again, the name of certificate as per this ones. And if no exit, he will continue. 4th year, again re-entry, same type of slides. Yes, he will be allowed to enter either in 7th or 8th. Outside student, same slide. Condition, 3rd year and 4th year, same slide. Concerned department will conduct it. And also that number of credits will be only different. 40, 80, 120. Exit after 4th year, course is complete, we will provide him with a degree. If he has completed successfully minimum 160 credits, he will be issued with a degree, BTech degree. Now this 160 degree credit is our minimum. It may vary from one department to another department. but there should be a limit. We have kept it maximum variation should be 10. So within 160 to 160, it may vary from the minimum. I am not telling maximum. It is minimum credit requirement may vary from department to department, and it will be in the range 160 to 170. So accordingly, per year we can vary our course, vary our credit. Not that exactly it should be 20, 20, 20 or 40 in each year. It may vary in the range 40 to 45, 40, 41, 42 like this. Now also we are offering minor degree at present, but this minor degree also we propose same, that he has to, in addition to 160 credit, he has to read another additional 40 credits. But if it is not in the same branch, in some other branch, yes, allowed, and we will be giving him an additional certificate called minor degree in the other branch. And this should be a minimum 4 theory courses and 2 lab courses. The same thing we have it in our regulations now, and we are currently this one. But now we need the input from our experts that whether this should be additional or it should be out of the 160 credit. Because we have seen in the recently the UGC document, the credit framework, they say that if the student, out of 160 credit, 50% or more, if it is stream based of his own branch, and the rest, out of the rest, around 30% if he does in other branches, he may be issued with a minor degree. So that is UGC guideline. But at present we suggest that it should be additional one. We need input from the experts on this point. Similarly, if he is not able to do 14 credits, but if he has done at least 8 credits in some specialized area, then we can issue him some special certificate. And these 8 credits should be consisting of either 3 theory courses or 2 theory, 1 lab courses, depending upon different departments. Now, as Director Sir has pointed out also, at present honors we are giving on the basis of the grades that he has got it. But UGC, AICT, whatever that we have read it, even NEP and Health Credit Framework, honors means if he has read more subjects in his own branch. So instead of reading in other branches, let's say, some students take up extra courses in the same branch of the same, let's say, 14 credits. If he does 14 credits in other branch, we give it minor degree. But if he does the same 14 credits in his own branch, we will be giving him the BTech's honors degree. Yes? No, then next we revise to 14 credits. At present it has been reduced to 14 credits. Okay. Whatever the minor slide, whatever is there, is the same one. Then in addition, there are some students, few students, they are more research oriented. So they catch hold of some faculty advisor, they start their research work from second year onwards. So we have thought of that, let us have provision for such type of students who are more research oriented. So he has to again 14 credits, same 14 credits for minor or BTech honors. If he does this 14 credits in the quality research work, but he must have started from the second year onwards, in second year 4, third year 4 credits, and the fourth year 6 credits, total 14 credits, and quality research work. But this should be in addition to BTech final year project work. Then he should be issued with a certificate called BTech with research. Presently we have in final year project work, there is a research project is there. In addition to that, if he does this research work, then it is in addition to that final year project work. Yeah. So sir, main thing is over. Now the dual degree and this one is almost same as BTech, only changes in the final year. At present we have dual degree means BTech and MTech. But what we propose that let us not limit to only MTech. A BTech student can go in the direction of management. So we will give him BTech with MBA, or he can do some humanities related subject. So he can have BTech with MA, or if he wants to do, let's say he wants to read more on physics or chemistry, so BTech with that science. So we have this, at present we have BTech, MTech, but we can have these 3 more. Now here we have lot of debates on this, that whether he should be admitted as BTech or he should be a dual. Finally we say that let him take admissions in the dual degree program, and that will be decided from the admission stage itself, whether he is going for 4-year BTech or 5-year dual. But what should be PG degree, whether he should be gone for MTech or he should go for MA or MSc or this one, it is too immature to decide. So let him study, let him take time, let him know what is the real subject that he is really interested, and we will be allowing him up to the beginning of the final year. Because sir, fourth year and final year, because they have to complete 2-year course in 1 year dual degree. So some of the MTech level courses are in the final year in the 7th and 8th semester. So that's why up to 3 years let him take time and let him make a decision that whether he should be going for MA or MSc or he has to do MTech. So beginning of the 4th year, he is discipline on the PG degree, he has to decide. But he is a dual degree, it will be decided the admission itself. So here only difference is that instead of 8 years, it will be 10 years. Otherwise same as BTech program. And here, because he is dual degree, in order to retain him, so we are not issuing him the degree at the end of 4th year. Otherwise everybody will leave and dual degree will be totally closed down. That's why if you want to leave it, he can leave it, but we will not be giving the certificates, this dual degree certificate. So he has to wait till 5th year and then only he will get the certificates. Sir, these are all same as BTech. Again, entry in the dual degree also at the 5th year he can enter. Guidelines is same. Only thing is that he must have completed 4 years, that is 160 credits. He will get 2 degrees. Again, completion of the 200 credits, same guideline. Then comes 5-year integrated PG program. At present, we have only BSc and MScs, but what we propose here, 2 more specializations. The BSc can go in also MA or BSc with management. Why BSc not written BSc honors is that the UGC says that if he completes 3 years, give it BSc. If it completes 4 years, it should be BSc honors. So that's why if he goes in the science stream, BSc honors 4 year completed and then MSc. But if he goes toward MA and MBA, it should be BSc MA, BSc MBA. Admission is same. And here also, like dual degree, it will be decided at the time of admissions, but discipline he can decide at the beginning of the 4th year. Same as dual degree, 10 years. Here, based on the feedback that we received from the science department, we have added also the students of IGERS, NIGERS and the Central University, because they also come under Ministry of Education, Government of India. So accordingly, not through JOSA and CSAB, we also added these 3 more entrance tests, the CUAT for Central Universities, IGER and these ones, that also we added. Otherwise, same. So here the name only will be different. Foundation in Engineering, although they are science students, but they read along with the engineering students. So we thought that the degree should be same. So Foundation in Engineering. After 2 years, it will be diploma in physics or diploma in chemistry. After 3rd year, just like in BTech, we are not giving in 4th year. So 3rd year BSc in physics are these ones. 4th year no, and at the 5th year he gets the 2 certificates, both UG and PG, BSc honors and MSc, or BSc and MA, or BSc and MBA. Just only 2 slates are left. 43. Okay. Same as dual degree. Then this is also same as dual degree. Only difference is that we have added so many entrance tests and IGER and Central University, etc., etc. Otherwise same. Same 2 degree he will get after the 5th year. Thank you. I think within the time limit I finished before 2 o'clock. Yes, any doubt we can now answer. But now in the UGC that we have seen, only after 4 years it is a BSc honors. Sir, you may not agree, but this is the latest one that UGC document has written. Clearly, after 3 years BSc, after 4th year BSc honors. Yes.
Sir, even after exit, the 4th year, you have said blank.
Yeah. Because this is for the dual, this is for integrated PG. Yes, otherwise everybody will leave. Nobody will in the integrated MSc. Just like dual degree, we have kept it blank. Yeah.
So MBA will be minor degree there, or like how they will get a BSc?
No, major degree, full PG degree they will get. Just like BTech, MTech, in dual degree they get it.
But there is like after 4
No minor here, because they dual degree, 2 major degree they will get.
In 1 year, how they will get MBA degree?
No, not fourth year. If they go, they will not get any degree except BSc degree.
Just like dual degree BTech MTech, no? The 4th year they will be reading half of the MBA subjects. Just like BTech and MTech.
How strong is your MA Arts Humanities department?
Sir, we are trying to make it stronger, and we think a lot of faculties are there, lot of faculty in humanities. So we hope that we could able to we will propose.
Professor Rajshekhar will also be answering all these questions.
Sir.
I think, sir, we need another session for we have a lot of doubts.
2 p.m. we have Professor Murthy's session.
Okay.
We have to break for lunch.
But there are so many hands are raising.
I think there will be a separate session for the heads and deans with regard to these particular things which we have, because we are running short of time. And at 2 p.m. we have Director Professor Murthy, IIT Hyderabad joining us.
Professor G.P. Rajshekhar from IIT Kharagpur will also be taking the questions which will be really answering, because something similar has been tried at IIT Kharagpur, and so he will be sharing the experience at the IIT so that the answers can be readily be made available. All the HODs and then deans, right? And then I am inviting Professor G.P. Rajshekhar to be participating in this session also.
Is Murthy coming now?
No, 2 o'clock.
2 p.m.
After
lunch.
Okay. So the announcement, please note, we are breaking for lunch. We reassemble here at 2 p.m. sharp for the